Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Drift Masters Championship. It's round 2. We're here at Mondello Park, the House of Drift in Ireland. We have got a stacked grid for you today. We are heading into our top 32 battles. We had an amazing qualification which threw up some great battles this afternoon. It's stacked. All the action is on its way. We've got a dry day. Yesterday we had some sketchy weather conditions, but if I know Irish weather, we're on for a good one today. So let's take a look at our calendar for this year. Obviously, we're starting with Valencia. We had round 1. Heading into round 2, we're here at Mondello Park. Round 3, we're going to the Power Park in Finland. Round 4, it's one of the biggest ones of the year. It's the King of Riga. We're heading to Latvia. And then into a brand new track, Hungary. And then it's the showdown. Round 6, the final, a packed out stadium. Boy, I cannot wait for that one. But let's take a quick look at what happened in Valencia. There was so much going on, and Kevin Pesser managed to take that top spot. Let's take a look.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new season of Drift Masters. We are here for round 1 in sunny Spain at the Ricardo Tormo circuit, where all the scores are reset to 0. 42 drivers representing 22 nations will compete over 6 rounds to see who will be crowned the 2024 Drift Masters champion. We had our current champion, Conor Shanahan, bow out in qualifying due to turbo issues in his car, which he just had to basically left foot brake, handbrake around. Judges didn't like how slow the run was. Scores of 66, and it wasn't enough to get him into the battle action. Our champion out in the qualifying stages. Not impressed with that one. This one's going to be interesting. Well, that's Hydro's chance. Więcek's got to be on the door.
Goes super wide, dials on big angle, and now Max Heidrich looks for that inside zone. Więcek gets lost in the smoke, and he straightens once again. Więcek all over the show. He just can't seem to get himself into the groove this weekend. Heidrich disposes of the rear bumper on this Nissan 200SX as he fires into that final outside zone. Więcek is lost in a cloud of smoke as Max Heidrich absolutely flies away through that final outside zone.
It's going to be Max Heidrich gets the win. Max Heidrich gets the win, and I'm sure when he saw Peter Więcek's name come out of the hat yesterday, he would have thought, oh, this could be another 32 exit for me. So here we go. Laurie Heinahan will be in the final. Kevin Pesser in the final. This is going to be wild.
Well, here they go through the gears. Kevin Pesser goes for a big initiation. Laurie Heinahan waits. Straight line approach to this one. As Heinahan looks for the inside, he looks for the door. He's on a shallow angle. As Kevin Pesser now starts to fill the arena with smoke, he's driving away from Laurie Heinahan. As Heinahan now sacrifices some line, gets himself in the mix, backs that car in wheel to wheel, tucks the nose up on the inside, now goes even closer than Kevin Pesser on that final outside zone. It's wheel to wheel across the line.
That is what it's all about here in Drift Masters. It's Kevin Pesser. Kevin Pesser has won round 1 of Drift Masters, and the emotions flow out of the man from Estonia who's been chasing this dream for the last couple of years. And now that dream has come true. What a final.
Well, there you have it, our championship standings. Kevin Pesser in first place, followed by Laurie Heinahan, and then Adam Zalewski, and then followed by Benediktas Čirba. A whole new lineup for the start of this year. It's excellent to see drivers coming through. The level at Drift Masters keeps getting higher and higher. Now, I've turned up in my drift car here today, but no worries, guys. I'm not going to be heading to a Drift Masters grid anytime soon. I'm not quite there yet, but there are plenty of drivers here that can do a much, much better job than I can, including this driver right here, Mr. James Deane, top in qualifying yesterday and the qualifying showdown. You're back at your home track. You feel very comfortable. You got a big smile on your face. Can you tell us what the conditions are out there during practice this morning? It looks like a much better day today.
Yeah, today is a much better day condition-wise, so it's brilliant for the fans and us as drivers too, because every single lap we did yesterday felt different. It was really hard to put down solid, clean laps. I was lucky that I have a lot of experience here, and the car was on rails, so felt very comfortable, even though it was very challenging, but today's practice went smooth. We only got 2 laps. It was a quite short practice session, so it would have been a bit nicer to get some more laps in the dry, but the speed is like double today.
We've got to talk about our Drift Masters grid. I mean, look at our top 4. Obviously, Kevin Pesser, Laurie Heinahan, Adam Zalewski, Benediktas Čirba. You can't count a single person out. The level of driving has got so high. I mean, you've been driving for nearly, I'm going to say nearly 20 years now. Can you see how the sport has progressed so far with these drivers?
It's unbelievable, especially in the last few years. You know, before I think there was always like 4, maybe 6, 8 drivers that were like a little step above the rest, but now anyone in this top 32 grid could win. Like seeing Kevin take his first win at round 1 of Drift Masters was amazing to see, seeing his emotions and knowing what that feels like. I'm drifting, as you said, nearly 20 years, and when I get a win, it still feels like just as emotional as the first one. So it means everything to all this grid to do the best they can, because we all have amazing support from our family, our partners, our friends, you know, our fans. So we want to do everyone proud. That gives us everything to go on and put it on a show in front of the fans. It's a crazy sport.
Well, thank you so much, James, and good luck in your first battle.
Thank you.
Right, let's take a little wander down and let's talk about drivers coming through. I mean, Conor Falvey, 16 years old, a brand new build, such a promising driver. Everybody was crying in the pits yesterday when he came in. Obviously, during qualification, his first run ended up with a 0 because he put 2 wheels over the line. So it all came down to that second qualifying run. And you know what? He did it. Put a 93 on the board. Everybody was elated. And he's still got a big smile on his face. I love this. Whenever I come to chat to drift drivers, they've just got a big smile. So Conor, a huge day for you yesterday. So many emotions. Can you tell us what that was like for you?
Geez, it was like a roller coaster, to be honest. I went from being very upset to being very happy. So after my first run, I was sitting on a 0, obviously. So the pressure was absolutely cruel. Like, not put on by my team, just by myself. So I was very nervous. But I managed to get a 93 in the second run, and Jesus, it was the best feeling ever, to be honest. I just couldn't believe it, to be honest. And I just like to thank all the team, all Drift Games, for making me be here. It's like nothing I've ever got before in my life. It's absolutely unbelievable, and hopefully we can go far today.
Now, I've never been at a top-level competition like this, but I know when I sit at the bottom of that hill and I'm about to go over it, the nerves, the tension, like how do you manage that at such a young age? It's very impressive.
Yeah, look, the main part of that would probably be the team I have behind me. They're the best in the world. They put no pressure on me. They just make sure I have a level head going out, and once you leave the starting line, it's kind of all go. You just don't think about anything besides drifting, so it's not too bad.
Not too bad. That's told like a true Cork boy there. Right, we're going to head on over. Good luck in your first battle, Conor. So having a little wander down our paddock here. Obviously, we had a couple of American visitors, American and Canadian visitors, Josiah and Adam LZ. Unfortunately, it wasn't their weekend. They didn't make it through qualification, but we're absolutely sure we'll see them at the next round in Finland. Let's have a look. It's a little bit further down. We're going to head down to Kuba Przygoński, who put on an amazing show yesterday. Now, this driver is no stranger to the top spot at many different disciplines. I mean, this is a Dakar champion, a rally champion, and here he is at drifting, and he put on an incredible show. So we're going to run down, see if we can have a chat with him. Just walking past Adam Zalewski here as well. Do you know what? I love it. It's a good vibe out here today, guys. I've seen lots of fans in the stands. We're going to be filling up the House of Drift. Let's see if we can catch Kuba right now. Where is he? Here he is. Always looking sleek. Always, you know. I've never met a driver who always looks so well put together. Here he is. Kuba, fantastic to see you again. Congratulations on yesterday. Is this a track that you really like in the Drift Masters grid?
It's a tricky track, tricky country with the weather, but I really enjoy the place. Ireland is really beautiful with this green and nice houses. But the weather for us, rain, dry, it's really complicated.
So this car, I mean, this was a brand new build. Was it a year ago, 2 years ago?
Yeah, the car is brand new. It's after a lot of tests, and now I think we are on the place where we should be. That the car works really good, and I feel confident in the car, and I can enjoy drifting.
Well, it definitely looked like you enjoyed it yesterday. You looked to be on rails, and it was amazing to see you battling with James Deane. You were the only person that could keep good proximity to him. How hard was that, considering the conditions?
James is a really good driver and one of the best in the world, and it was always nice to fight with him. Of course, the fight like this, you need to go more than you think, because James knows this track exactly. The conditions were a little bit wet, and I'm really happy that we tested the car, that the car is in good shape. It's fast. I'm still on the good way, and now it's a little bit more luck we need for sure.
Well, Kuba, you look cool as a cucumber as always. Good luck in your top 32 battle, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you.
All right then, guys, there we have a few of our drivers. As I said, the vibes are high. It's going to be a great day today. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, we're at round 2. This is where our drivers are going to let their intentions be known for the championship this year. But that's enough for me. I'm going to hand up to our kings of the commentary box, Ian Waddington and Dave Egan. Guys, it's going to be a big one, I think.
You're absolutely right, Becky. This is the big one. Mondello Park, of course, this was the fortress for the Irish drivers. They were undefeated on this circuit for over 20 years, but in the last 2 years, that all changed. The rest of Europe came here, they got experience, and now, in the third year in a row, do they take the top step on the podium? The Irish, though, need that fight back, especially previous champion Conor Shanahan, who's trying to fight himself. He said, it's top step on the podium or nothing this weekend, but there's a long way from here to there. My name is Dave Egan. I'm going to be talking you through all the action here in Mondello Park, alongside my good friend and colleague Ian Waddington. Ian, yesterday it was wet, it was wild, it was wet, it was dry. We got some unpredictable results, and we've got a hugely stacked top 32.
Yeah, we certainly have, Dave. And the weather at Mondello Park has its own system. You go anywhere else in Ireland and you can get what you want, but here in Mondello Park, it's always different. We're in for a good day.
Absolutely. We're going to head over to our head judge, Kevin O'Connell. Kevin, this track looks quite simple when you look at it on a map, but it's anything but. That first corner catching a lot of drivers out. What is it going to take to win here today?
Absolutely, Dave. This track may look simple, but it is extremely difficult, especially that first corner, and that's what we're really going to be analysing today, along with the rest of the track, of course. But for the drivers to win here, they're going to have to really adhere to our criteria. So obviously, we're always looking for a really clean lead run. It's super important here, and we're even emphasising this even more this year. So for the lead driver, we want them to hit all of the clipping zones, maintain nice, consistent angle throughout the course, and drive so that the chase car can follow. But of course, we all want to see crazy battles, and that's all about the chase driver. So for the chase driver, we're going to be looking for absolute maximum proximity for as much time as possible. Initiate no later than the lead driver. Match or better the lead driver's angle, really important around here, and mimic the transitions and line of the lead driver. If they can both do that, we're going to have some incredible battles here today.
Well, that's exactly what we're looking forward to, Kevin. I know you, Vernon, and David are going to be keeping a close eye on all the action, and here is the circuit they are going to be attempting. And that first corner is downhill, blind, off camber, and one of the most difficult parts of the course. You can see it's starting to fill up here in Mondello Park. Fans from all over the world. We had fans from South Africa, Australia, the UK, and all over Europe land into the Emerald Isles just to see the spectacle that we're about to witness on this circuit. And here is the tale of the tape. 2 deceleration zones, 6 outer zones, 1 inner zone, and it's a 430-meter long track. You come off that start line, first, second, third, fourth, flat out up to 140k plus as you pull the handbrake in initiation through outer zone 1, and tuck the car in as close as you can to inner zone 2. This is off camber, really tricky to not go off the track as you come along to outer zone 3. This is where the judges will be looking for the drivers to hit that perfect zone on the outside of the track. Then it's a big decel. Lose all that speed as you set the car up for outer zone 4. Stay out on those white lines and make sure your 2 rear wheels are inside those outer 2 lines. Then it's a snappy transition over to outer zone 5, and you set yourself up for the first decel and wall run as they come up with the first wall. Very tricky to get right. You can drop 2 wheels over, which a lot of drivers did, and then it's a second wall at the end of outer zone 6 as they push the throttle to outer zone 7. Full throttle across the line. You take a breath because you've survived a lap of Mondello Park. They're going to be doing this inches from each other right from the off here in our top 32, and we can't wait to see what happens. Ian, this track is crazy. It's one of those tracks where I think a lot of drivers say that first corner is everything.
It is everything, Dave, and I spent a lot of time earlier on down in the spotters area, which is directly to the side of us, with Kevin O'Connell, and he was saying to me, look at the initiation, watch that initiation. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at our top 32 that's ahead of us. It is absolutely stacked. The biggest names in the game are going head-to-head from the off as we kick off with James Deane and Pontus Hartman qualifying first and 32nd. And look at those scores. I mean, we've got Conor Shanahan, Tomas, childhood friends. We've got Jack Shannon, Adam Zalewski, 2 cars that have battled so many times over the years. Więcek, Čirba in there. Orjan, Nilsen and Timu Paltola, Kvia and Randalu, Przygoński, Holovnia. I can name every single battle here and tell you what it means, but we're going to see it happen right from the off. There is going to be no easy battles. This top 32 is going to be hotly contested, so whoever makes it to that main event top 16 is really going to have work for it.
They certainly are, Dave. It's going to be a hard battle all the way through, and we spoke earlier on, we said these battles are like finals, every single one, and the first one we're going to kick off with is going to be a final battle for us. It's going to be unbelievable.
Well, I'll tell you what, the time for talking is over. The time for walking has begun, because we are about to kick off battle action here at Mondello at round 2. Let's get into it. We're ready, the crowd is ready, you at home are ready, and the drivers are ready. It's the top 32 battle action here at Mondello Park, and it sees the hometown hero, James Deane, the most successful and decorated drifter in the world, back this weekend Top the qualifying showdown. Now he goes into battle against Pontus Hartman. But Pontus Hartman is going to have, in many ways, a little bit of an advantage here, because in the chase position, he knows he can lean on Deane. He can trust Deane that he will go through that course absolutely perfectly. So Pontus Hartman is going to turn the dial all the way up to 11, go to that uncomfortable place and put it on the door, because that's all he's going to do. He can do nothing else against the machine.
No, you can't, Dave. You have to go full 100%. And for me, Pontus Hartman, he doesn't sit at a disadvantage. He's made his way through competition in previous rounds here in the past, and he's got successful results. What can he do this weekend, though? He's got a big test in top 32. Through the gears they come, and over the crest of the hill is James Deane to lead in Pontus Hartman for the first battle in top 32, and Deane is on a flyer already. Hartman goes a little wide on outside zone 3 now, trying to reclaim some lost ground, and Deane goes very deep in outside zone 4, lights up the tyres on the back of that S14.9 and flicks it across to the wall, but Hartman jumps onto the back bumper, opens the door, trusts Deane on that lead line, now squeezes the throttle across the line as Hartman gives him a good chase.
Yeah, Hartman just couldn't keep up with the pace there, almost had a heart attack on the way in of how fast James Deane was. And again, James has turned probably more laps in this. I mean, think about it, James Deane's done more laps than anybody on the circuit because he's been to that many finals here. So he's got a lot of experience. He's in a chassis he really likes to drive. This car shipped back from the Middle East, arrived, and he's using it for this particular event, but it's a very familiar chassis. We call it the S14.9 because it's actually a Nissan S14, but the front and rear end of a Nissan S15. Doesn't have to make sense, but it looks pretty cool. And James Deane looks very comfortable. I think Hartman just not putting the pressure on there.
No, I think he got left a little bit on the start line, which is, again, another tale of the tape. Me and Kevin O'Connor were talking about this. As a chase driver on the start line, you need to be creeping through that chicane, through those cones. You almost need to be ahead of the lead car before he leaves the line. Otherwise, as soon as they get that green light to go, they're going to be up and gone.
Absolutely. So James Deane taking, I would imagine, a small advantage from that first run, just with Hartman not bringing the aggression, leaving it now in James Deane's hands. If he puts it on the door, he keeps it smooth and he gets that proximity. This is going to be him going through to another top 16. And the Irish fans in attendance, I'm sure he's one of their, their big bets for who's going to be an Irish winner on the day. But James Deane looks comfortable right now, but hey, it's drifting. Anything can switch around in the second half of a battle. Hartman's going to put in a solid lead run and expect Deane from the off to be creeping as he is, as he's going to stay as close to that BMW E46 as possible.
Yeah, he crept through the start line. That was the right move. And look at this, Deane onto the back bumper already. Hartman with that straight line initiation, just trying to get himself away from Deane, try and put some distance, but he goes too far, goes wheels off track there on outside zone 3, now back into 4, and Deane keeps his distance, waits for that dive now, looks for the door of that BMW, goes for the transition early. Hartman looks for the wall, flicks through it, Deane through the smoke into that zone, but he makes a little mistake there. Deane doesn't get up close and personal, gives him that room to manoeuvre, and across the line they take it.
I think that was a calculated run from James Deane. Yeah. He didn't overcommit, he knew he had a small advantage, and when Hartman went 2 wheels over that white line, I think Deane knew this is probably going to be just stay close and don't overcommit. Sometimes as a driver you want to get as close as possible. Watch this, Hartman just tags the handbrake again here, which means Deane has to back off it. Deane thinks he's going off the track, so Deane, kind of, I suppose, recoils and says, I don't need to attack right here. And Hartman just coming in too fast as they come through. And you can see Deane just playing cat and mouse a little bit for the rest of the run, not overcommitting, which again I think is the clever move at this point of the competition.
Yeah, it certainly is, Dave. He didn't need to do too much. For me, there was only one little error that came in there, and I think that was just Deane's line into outside zone 6. You can see the tail light and the cones go flying as Hartman goes wheels off track on outside zone 3. Now the car having a chat. Hartman saying, well, I gave it everything.
He gave it a good go, but let's see who's going through to the top 16. And it's James Deane getting the win. James Deane goes through to the top 16. Much to the delight of the local fans here in Ireland as he goes through to another top 16. Remember, just a wild card this weekend, doing a couple of select rounds of Drift Masters this year, so a cat amongst the pigeons taking away championship points. He's like the guy that turns up to your house party with nothing in hand, right?
Drink till you drink.
Yeah, he just comes away with a load of points and says, hey, I'm just here to have a good time. So he's pretty happy with that one. Pontus Hartman, I mean, he was really up against it there. For a first battle in Mondello Park, you're going against the most decorated driver here, the highest ranked Irish driver, and someone who's done more laps than you. So that was an uphill battle for Hartman. I think he did pretty good.
He certainly did. He did everything he could. We go back to the line to a good battle. This one I've been looking forward to. Kevin Piskolty to take on David Sposób. Poland versus Hungary. Sposób in that lead position. Now, Kevin Piskolty, we watched him in practice earlier, Dave. He is deadly in the chase this weekend.
100%. He's starting in the chase as David Sposób, the rookie driver, actually out-qualifying Kevin Piskolty, who's way up the order in the championship. Piskolty, if he wants to mount this campaign of winning the championship this year, he's got to win this battle. Sposób going for Rookie of the Year, and hey, he might even get higher in the championship. You never know how it works. It will be Hungary versus Poland, as David Sposób from Poland will lead in Hungarian Kevin Piskolty, and this is going to be a really tight one. Look at Piskolty, he's up and at him here. This is going to be a very close initiation between the two of these.
Yeah, look at this from Piskolty, almost contact on initiation, but he lets Sposób get the move done, and now you can see Sposób going a little wide there. He's going to get that outside zone 3 now. Kevin Piskolty very calculated. Look at this, waits for the dive on outside zone 4, now looks for that front wheel, goes for a little lunge onto the side of the Polishman's S15. They look for the wall, they come back through the smoke, and Kevin Piskolty on the inside, but he's never too far away from David Sposób, as Sposób falls off that qualifying line across the line.
You know what, I think this is one of those where you look at it on paper and you say Sposob's going in here as the underdog. Piskolty's got the momentum from last year and this year, but I've got to say that lead run kind of caught Kevin Piskolty off a little bit. Very fast from Sposób through the track. Piskolty jumping over the curb on the inside in the chase position, and he does get proximity throughout the run, but it's not clinical proximity. There's bits where he comes in and bits where he falls off. So from my perspective, this one really in the balance. Piskolty, nice dive in here to the outside of the zone, but as you can see, right up onto the door. But just after here, Piskolty has to back off a little bit. Sposób gets the run on him, and as they come through here, you know, I think Sposób does a good job of transitioning to the wall. Piskolty's on the inside of the track a little bit and has a little bit of trouble kind of managing that pace, and Sposób no such issues as he takes it right out to the wall. Very good battle and very much in the balance right now. Two incredible drivers, but this is the moment for me. Look at Piskolty up on the front wheel. Of course, you make contact with that front wheel, that's a disadvantage. And I think just a little, look at that little touch of smoke as the two tires touch. That's how close these guys are going. And now we switch them around. Sposób will be in the chase position. Piskolty in the lead. Sposób, as the underdog, is going to have to trust Piskolty and go close, because the entry is where all the points are being rewarded.
Yeah, that is where the hero moment is for most of these drivers in the chase position. The through the chicane, through the gears. Sposób, look at this laser focus, looking at the back end of that BMW as Kevin Piskolty now fires in. The Hungarian driver gets himself dialed, jumps over the curb once again. He's going to go wide on outside zone 3, but he makes it work. Now Sposób's the one with the lack of proximity. Can he make a dive onto the inside? He doesn't. He doesn't take the opportunity as Piskolty puts hammer down and looks for the wall as he flicks the back of that BMW up to the wall, but he goes a weird off circuit there, and that opens the door for Sposób as Sposób now pushes Piskolty across the line.
Oh, and they almost come together after the finish line. Very close battle here in the top 32. Mistakes from both drivers, moments of brilliance from both drivers, and the judges are really going to have a tough time deciding this one. Piskolty.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, a little bit of a hype from David Sposób in the car. Look to me right here. Looks Piskolty goes very wide here, and then Sposób not having the proximity. So it depends on what way the judges look at that. Did Piskolty lead Sposób on that line? Sposób does get back on it here pretty good on the inside. And at this point, I was looking at Piskolty saying this is pretty good, but then Piskolty goes way too wide here. Late, dropping one wheel, very much flirting with two wheels there is Kevin Piskolty on that last corner. So interesting to see which way the judges will go. We're going to get a better look at that inside wheel here. Looks like he keeps it on the track.
Yeah.
But it is going to be a deduction, so it's hard to know. This is one I wouldn't like to be calling.
Look at the wall run. I think the lead line, to be honest with you, Dave, from Kevin Piskolty was way cleaner. Look how deep he is into the outside zone. I think the lead line from Kevin Piskolty was cleaner, and the proximity he had in the chase, I think that could be the one that seals the deal.
Yeah, I think it's whatever way it's going to go, it's going to be close to see who goes through to the top 16. And Piskolty, yeah, the wall runs were great, a lot of speed. Sposób had some good moments as well. I mean, it's going to be a close top 32. We've already watched two battles, and we know there's going to be no walkovers here. This is, you know, everyone talks about predetermined decisions. Very hard to see any predetermined decisions in this particular top 32, especially with the left side of the bracket being so stacked.
Stacked, yeah.
So Piskolty looks nervous. Sposób looks nervous. One of these guys is going through to the top 16. You can see this is like a very nervous moment, but someone's going to get the win, someone's going to get the loss. But it's not, it's a one more time. So they were nervous, and now they get to go at it again. I can see that point. Quickly over to you, Kevin. Just no splitting, the moments of brilliance, mistakes all around.
Yeah, it really does come down to the mistakes on that those runs, Dave. If you compare lead to lead, both drivers either dropping wheels or being a little bit off the qualifying line they were looking for. And then when you compare chase to chase, then both drivers sacrificing that qualifying line, cutting the track, being a little bit on the inside of the track, sacrificing angle. I could keep going on and on with the amount of small mistakes throughout, and we really want to just see a nice clean battle. overall, we could have maybe split hairs and made a decision, but I think definitely it's just a lot cleaner to see him go one more time.
Well, I completely agree, because I mean, when we're sitting here and we don't have an obvious decision ourselves, it kind of reflects sometimes on the judges. We're all watching the same thing, right? Massive battle on the start line for Peter Więcek and Benediktas Čirba. This could be their championship in the balance here at round 2, because both of these guys capable of building momentum to win a championship from here, but they have to go through each other. Benediktas Čirba from Lithuania, Peter Więcek from Poland. These are 2 European heavyweights about to go head-to-head in the top 32. Więcek's got a lot of fans here. Čirba's got a lot of fans here. Lithuania and Poland, they're definitely in the house this weekend, as Więcek trying to get to grips with that new Supra. Čirba in the car he knows and loves. Čirba lets the visor down. It means business time, as Čirba will be in the chase. This one is going to be tooth and nail.
Oh, it's going to be a fight. This one's going to be a fight to the end, but for me, Benediktas Čirba looks strong, finished just off the podium in Spain, and he will want redemption. He'll want to get a top step on the podium, and he has to go through our 3-time champion to get there. And look at Więcek, he's dialed, he's in focus, he wants it, he's hungry for it. But look at Čirba, straight onto the back bumper, no messing around. Čirba goes deep on the inside. Oh! And Więcek goes wide and leads them both off circuit, and that puts Čirba into a spin. And how?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what you do with that. Więcek finishes the run but goes off circuit. Čirba's on the circuit. Neither run competed, and we said it would be a fight. They didn't even make it through the first corner. Looked to me like Więcek went off. Čirba led off or spun afterwards. This is going to be, look at the 2 drivers. They're having a bit of a conversation here afterwards.
Oh, and it looks like it could be a failure on the car on Čirba.
Čirba giving the international signal for something went wrong. So I don't know if these 2 completely different incidents have happened all of a sudden.
I don't know whether there was something wrong with Čirba's car because he did the handbrake signal, or did Więcek handbrake halfway through this corner? That's what we're going to be looking for now. Did he slow the car down? Oh, he got massive understeer. So Więcek got a huge understeer. Look at this. The front wheel's barely any angle, and he led them both off circuit.
This is a very tough decision for the judges, because we do know that the reason Čirba was where he was on the track was because he was chasing Więcek, right? So we know that.
We know that, yeah.
However, when they come back out of the grass, Čirba spins. Now, is he spinning because of the bump and the spin out of the grass, or is he kind of independently spinning? That's what the judges are going to have to decipher. A messy one either way, right? We expected that one to get a little further than the first corner, but
yeah,
it goes to show how knife edge these things are. So, I mean, you can see, look, the change of emotion in the Lithuanian fans. They're like,
oh, look at the front wheel.
Oh, so the wheel has taken a hit.
Well, so now I'm going to now say, Dave, this is going to be now classed as a judging decision whether Więcek's at fault and Čirba gets to go back and repair the car.
So we have word from the judges that Benediktas Čirba will be given a competition timeout, deeming Więcek at fault for the decision. So Więcek deemed at fault, Čirba will get a competition timeout. Massive, massive moves in the championship here.
This is huge for Čirba's
huge
championship.
Decision.
Huge.
Now, I'm wondering, can we get a quick word with Kevin O'Connell on this just to clarify what you guys saw?
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. So basically what we are saying in the briefing is that the chase driver has to use the lead driver as a moving clipping point. Čirba follows in Piotr, absolute maximum commitment, and then as you can see from the replays, Piotr gets a little bit of understeer and ends up going 2 wheels. Oh, well, we can see definitely 1 wheel off track, possibly even 2 wheels in the grass. Čirba there is maximum commitment. We've asked him to stay as close as possible in the proximity there, so he's following him in. Then Čirba either puts 2 wheels off there or spins, and we are deeming Piotr 100% at fault for that. So therefore, Čirba gets a competition timeout if required.
Well, from the wheel being broken,
yeah,
I'm just going to add on there that there definitely had to have been contact, or it was the surface that broke the wheel on Čirba. So Čirba's spin was because there was mechanical damage to the car caused by being off track, and the judges deeming that Więcek led him off track, which I think there's no real argument there. So, I mean, what happens on the second half of the battle, I do not know, and it now moves back to the start line. Another big battle for the championship right away, as we see Jack Shanahan and Adam Zalewski line up in the top 32. Shanahan way out the points right now, and Zalewski hitting the podium in Spain. So Zalewski goes through Shanahan here. He's back right up at the top of the championship. He gets knocked out in top 32. This would be detrimental. Shanahan, if he wants any chance of getting back into the championship race, has to beat his old rival, Adam Zalewski. Zalewski. And we've seen these guys go head-to-head so many times, some of the highlight reel battles, and we're getting it right from the off in top 32. We are definitely losing our voices today, Ian.
Yeah, we certainly are, Dave. And look at this, Zalewski's going to take a big run up now. A new engine package in this car. He's looking more confident than ever. But the Shanahans have ironed out the issues with these builds over winter. They've got them dialed. And Shanahan today has been looking on form. He's one of the fastest guys on initiation. Everyone's saying Jack is the man to beat from initiation. Can Zalewski put it to Shanahan? Look at the running he's got, Dave. He knows Shanahan's
he's going
fast.
for it here. Zalewski's going for it here. He's going for a big run in to make sure Shanahan is right, not out of his fingertips as he gets that first corner. And look at it, Zalewski creeping, and he's gone. Shanahan gone. Here we go, up over the hill at over 140k they go.
Yeah, look at this. But Zalewski did the good run in now. Big flick from Shanahan, but look at the pace already. And Shanahan's 86 as he absolutely nails it to that qualifying line. Shanahan gets into outside zone 4, but Zalewski opens the door and takes a steps in as he locks the front brake. Now big clutch kick from both guys. They look for the wall. Zalewski on the back bumper. That was insane. And Shanahan was the back end at 86 to the wall. Wow.
Where did Zalewski pull that? I've never seen anyone do that in Mondello in my lifetime. He got pinned between the lead car and the wall and still made it work.
Look at that freewheeling over there.
Shanahan has a wheel off the ground. He's got so much grip in the car through the first corner. And as they come through, I thought Zalewski got that understeer and was going to be out of the battle, but he comes right back into it. This transition from Zalewski doesn't even make any sense. He goes diving. Watch this. Look at the room he has. Wall, driver, makes it work. That is phenomenal driving from Adam Zalewski. And Shanahan's lead run absolutely inch per... Look at that.
That is incredible.
If Shanahan was in any other car than a GT86, you could not get away with that. But he made it work. This is the top 32, ladies and gentlemen, and we're seeing final after final.
He rubbed the wall and took the tail light out of the GT86. Zalewski is a man possessed. You know what? Tasting that champagne at round 1 in Valencia, that gave him the little boost he needed to say, I'm back in the game.
He got a taste for it, and he wants some more. And I'll tell you what, Jack Shanahan is going to have a very tough time to take down Zalewski here now. Although Shanahan doing nothing wrong in the lead position, Jack Shanahan has got to put in the chase run of his lifetime here to beat Adam Zalewski. He's got to go to an uncomfortable place. He's got to take a risk, and we saw what happened when people take risks here. They can go off track very quickly. This is very, very high tension early doors here at round 2.
Well, there we go. They're off the line, ready to go. Zalewski to lead out Shanahan. Shanahan didn't need a run in. He knows he's got the grip and the pace in the car, and he's already on the back bumper, and he would have been told by the spotter, you need to be on the door, and he's going for the door. But a big wash, and Zalewski has to handbrake through that first inner zone, and that's going to be a big points deduction from the judges, as now Zalewski goes for the outside zone, and Shanahan plays with him like a cat with a toy as they head down towards the wall. Shanahan says, I'm going to wait for the dive. I'm going to wait for outside zone 4. Now he starts to gain up on the door, and Zalewski hammers down.
A lot of pace in Zalewski's car. Shanahan struggling with it at the end of the run just to get up onto the door. But as you mentioned, that first corner with Zalewski, he got that wash. It did allow the judges to have a good look. Watch this, Zalewski in the lead position as he comes through. A very shallow initiation, and he does get a little bit of understeer, but does make it work. Shanahan just, it looked to me, so much grip in Zalewski's car. It actually was really difficult to drive, and he misses that outer zone, Zalewski. Yeah, the lead run from Zalewski, not perfect, but the proximity not there from Shanahan. So now the judges are going to go, did Shanahan get a fair shot at proximity because Zalewski was quite shallow through the course, or was Shanahan just cutting course? Hard to know which way this one's going to go. I could see arguments for both sides here.
I'm just taking a look back at this, just trying to spot mistakes and where it went wrong. And I think both cars, Dave, are so gripped up, they're almost undrivable.
I'll put it this way, you've definitely got to say better proximity and chase driving from Zalewski, better lead run from Shanahan. But was it the good lead run of Shanahan that allowed all that proximity from Zalewski? That's what the judges are going to have a look at here. But Zalewski had the move of the battle when he went up along the wall, so he had that, you know, highlight reel moment. Yeah. So judges are going to have a good conversation on this one of seeing who's going through to the top 16. Very close. Looks like decisions are going to drop in. Who's going to go to the top 16? Will it go to Poland? Will it go to Ireland? Very nervous moments. The decisions are in. And going through to the top 16 is Jack Shanahan gets the win. And Jack Shanahan goes through to the top 16. Quick word from you, Kevin. Looked like Shanahan had the better lead. Zalewski a bit more proximity, but it was a close one.
Absolutely, Dave. But for us, it really all comes down to mistakes on that one. Jack definitely making the less amount of mistakes from the 2 runs. You look at Jack's lead, it was pretty good. It gave Adam the opportunity to chase. And even then, while Adam did have the proximity, he was making mistakes, like small straightens on inner clip 2, sacrificing the line here at outer zone 4, as you can see, making dives and a few bobbles as well. When you switch him around, then yes, Jack didn't have the proximity as much as Adam, but Adam didn't give Jack the lead line that he gave him to maintain that proximity. He was making mistakes, and especially, as I heard Ian notice, he had a bobble at inner zone 2 and multiple handbrake drags. We really crucify drivers for that.
Thanks, Kevin, clearing it up. And now we go to an all-Irish battle, which I have been waiting for. 2 guys that, when they were 13 years of age, were going around fields together in BMWs, and here they are on the grandest stage of them all, Tomas Kiely and Conor Shanahan. Now, as much good friends as they are, Conor Shanahan needs to beat Tomas Kiely to get back in the championship, and Tomas Kiely has absolutely nothing to lose. So the pressure dialed in on Conor Shanahan. Tomas Kiely just wants to put on a show, and if you think Tomas Kiely is going to lie down here, you've got another thing coming, because Tomas Kiely built this car in 4 weeks from a bare shell to come here and win this event. This one is going to be fireworks.
Fireworks indeed, Dave. The door slams shut, the car slams into gear. Shanahan to lead out Tomas Kiely. Shanahan waits. He stalls up Kiely on the initiation as they come through the gears, slamming down. And look at this, Tomas Kiely onto the back bumper. He knows he can't let Conor Shanahan get away, but he does. He lets Shanahan get some room to manoeuvre as he fires into outside zone 4. Kiely on the inside, he's losing ground to Conor as he absolutely unwinds that GT86. Now he goes up the inside. He tries to pull a Zalewski as he dives up onto the door. Tomas Kiely knocking on the door of Shanahan saying, I'm still here.
Oh, that was a big move from Kiely. He almost takes the back end off Conor Shanahan's car over the finish line. Oh, I mean, you're right. The pace from Shanahan through the first corner was unmatched by Tomas Kiely, but after that, Kiely came for it. And boy, did he put in a transition in front of that first wall.
Unbelievable. He tried the Zalewski move. I think they've all been watching that saying, is that the one? Is that the highlight? Look at Shanahan in the car. He's so dialed, so focused. But look at Kiely's moves behind. He's transitioning earlier. It's putting him offline. He hasn't got that proximity. You can see him shallow up that angle massively, waiting to make a dive. And for me,
this is the move after this corner. Look at this. Kiely goes, I've got to go now. And
inside.
Oh! Look at that from Tomas Kiely. That's for the highlight reel. How he's still got a front bumper on that car, I have no idea, but it's brilliant to watch 2, very young Irish drivers out there just putting it all on the line. And that's the brilliant thing about Drift Masters. No games, no nothing. Just do your best, go out there and try and win the runs. And we're getting treated to some incredible. This is probably the most competitive 32 I've ever watched in the championship, so I'm very excited right now. We got to pace ourselves, Ian. We got a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we don't pace ourselves, we'll be done by grade 8.
Yeah, we'll be asleep by the grade 8. We've worn ourselves out. So here we go. It's going to be Tomas Kiely now in the lead, and Conor Shanahan now taking that staggered approach to try and get the run in. Conor Shanahan, if he wants to go back-to-back championships, he's got to win this battle, because you can't afford to go out no qualifying at round 1 and 32 at round 2. That's going to leave it too far away. So he's got to put it on the door of Tomas Kiely, but he's going to trust Tomas Kiely has got the go to match here. And look at this, Shanahan right there.
Yeah, he's letting him move though. He's letting him get that initiation done. He doesn't tuck up on the inside. Now Tomas Kiely starts to work his way around the circuit, but look at the dive from Shanahan in outside zone 4. He's up into the rear wheel. A little scrub from the front wheels as they both transition, and Shanahan through the smoke goes for the dive. Kiely's so wide, up into the wall he goes, and Shanahan now matches the angle.
Oh my goodness. With that, we are getting finals from the top 32 here, and you talk about, we'd say it's not just a marketing ploy. These are the best in the world right now, this Drift Masters grid, and you can see why. Kiely's car, look at the compression as he comes over the hill. But Shanahan, this is the move for me, the transition to outer zone 4 right here. Boom, comes through the smoke up onto the door, and that is where he gained a lot of proximity. Look how close he is to Tomas Kiely's car as they come through that outer zone. Look at Shanahan, very cool. He almost did too much here. Look, he had to back off a little bit on the front brakes. He went, oh, might actually hit Tomas Kiely if I go any closer. And Kiely super dialed in the lead as well. I mean, there's no mistakes there. This one's going to come down to who had the better proximity, I think.
I'm just watching Shanahan in the car. Look at that. He could literally reach out and touch the side of Tomas Kiely's car. It's that close.
So I think Conor having more proximity in the faster sections of the course. Yeah. Kiely having better proximity in the slower sections. It's going to be tough for the judges, but Oh, look at this from Conor Shanahan. Front wheel locked solid as he's on the door. And I mean on the door. He is a quarter of an inch off Tomas Kiely's door there. And this is, you know, over 900 horsepower cars here. Insane. Who's going to go through to the top 16 here at round 2? It's going to be Conor Shanahan. Conor Shanahan gets the win and goes through to the top 16. The Shanahan brothers both through to the top 16, which I'm sure the Irish driver, James Deane, so a lot of no Irish driver defeated yet. No. What? Early days. We had a similar situation last year, but then the Irish fell apart in the top 16 on, so a lot of pressure still on these drivers as Conor Shanahan resets, goes back to the pits and starts to try and mount this comeback in the championship. As we go back to, I'd say, a very controversial situation we have on the start line, which is going to be the Čirba and Więcek battle. It's not yet.
No, we're going to go back to it one more time. Kevin Piskolty versus David Sposób.
We got a lot of we got a lot on deck.
We've got a lot going on.
A lot going on, and I love it. I love it. I'm here for it. So Kevin Piskolty, David Sposób, one more time between Hungary and Poland, and Sposób and Piskolty not able to separate. A lot of mistakes, that's what Judge said, a lot of mistakes.
A lot of mistakes, yeah.
So they need to tidy those up, and of course, you do get the adrenaline pumping after the first run. You know, you're waiting for that top 32 battle. Now you've had it, the adrenaline's high, you're starting to feel comfortable, you get used to your opponent, and now we'll see these guys definitely step this up for the second time around.
Yeah, I always feel these guys get a little bit more comfortable after a first run together, especially in the one more time. They kind of know the setups of the cars, they know the pace, they know how each other are looking. Are they similarly matched? Is there a lot of distance? What would they have done in the paddock? Would they have raised tyre pressures? Would they have lowered tyre pressures? Would they change anything at all? Or would they just gone out exactly as they are and tried to improve on where those mistakes crept in? Here we go, we get the green light ready to go. It will be Sposób to leave in Kevin Piskolty as he comes through that chicane, and it looks slow from David Sposób, and that's allowing Kevin Piskolty to get right on the back bumper, no messing around. Wow! That from Piskolty was incredible, but he caught a little bit of understeer and he had to back out ever so slightly. Now he goes on the inside of the circuit. Sposób on a flyer though, deep into outside zone 4. Piskolty back into it, goes for the transition, tucks up on the inside, flicks it back. Both guys go for the wall. As Sposób looks for the outside line and Kevin Piskolty looks for the door, as Sposób puts it across the line.
Oh, it's down to millimeters, because that transition into the wall now is becoming so dangerous, so dangerous. Piskolty did a great job. This is where he was really brave on the initiation. But as he goes through, I think he backs off a little bit. He thinks, oh, I'm going to hit him. And then it allows Sposób to pull a gap. Sposób misses the outer zone, though, as he comes through. But Piskolty goes on the wrong part of the track on the inside. So mistakes again from both Sposób and Piskolty. But for me, this is the highlight. Piskolty makes the big dive here. Look at this. Boom. Up through the transition onto the wall. And he's right there as they put the foot to floor as they exit the circuit. Oh. Breathtaking stuff from Piskolty and Sposób in that last 2 walls.
Yeah, I feel, for me though, Dave, I think there's still mistakes creeping in from both of these guys. I think they're still very, very nervous. And look at that for Piskolty. It's mirrored the angle as they come through outside zone 5. That was incredible. Piskolty though, I think he could have done more. I think there was more in it. The big moment for me was after initiation, that inside zone 2. He got a little bit of understeer and that kind of upset the car. He had to think about what he was doing, get back into it. And that allowed him to miss some of them zones. Judges won't like that. They're back on the line though, Dave. Kevin Piskolty now to lead out David Sposób. And Piskolty, for me, needs a banger of a lead run.
Yeah, he needs a good lead run, and I think Sposób just got to find that clean proximity. It hasn't happened in the first battle and not the second. Here we go. Sposób in the chase position. Piskolty goes through the gears, is completely blind on entry. But look at Sposób, he's right there. Very close initiation for Sposób. And Sposób cutting across the corner. The pace in Piskolty's car is tough to match. As Sposób now makes a big dive up onto the door. Sposób, he's there, and very cleanly there. Now Sposób, can he keep this going as they transition? Sposób loses a little bit of ground as Piskolty puts foot to floor, and again it's very close as they come across the line. Oh, the judges are going to work here. This is just insane.
Crazy. Crazy. Top 32 action like this is like final battles over and over and over again. Right, I'm going to break this one down. I think that Kevin Piskolty had the cleaner lead line. Look at that front wheel on those 3 hash marks, those 3 dotted lines on initiation. For me, look at this. Too far on the inside for Sposób, and that doesn't allow him to gain up on the inside. He has to think about it and then make the dive on outside zone 4. Piskolty's lead line is absolutely clinical. Wasn't a foot wrong, Dave, as he goes super wide on 4. The big transition to 5, he gets it dialed, and then he's up into the wall nice and early. Look at this, it's textbook stuff from Kevin Piskolty. I think he's finally found the recipe. I think he's kind of got rid of those nerves, and the line through to that second outside zone, that second wall run was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, and we don't often agree at these events. We have our own opinions, but I think on this occasion, watching it back, Sposób does an amazing job over the 2 runs. But Piskolty's lead run for me just looks that inch per wall run.
It is inch perfect.
Yeah, and I think you got to look at Sposób missing outer zone 3, 3 on the first run. judges are coming down to those fine margins. And I think Sposób doesn't have that perfect lead run. He kind of cuts the course a little bit, and the lead run from Piskolty far cleaner. So I think, to be honest, again, I think Sposób has good proximity. But again, does it come down to the better lead run from Piskolty? And that's what we saw in a previous battle. The judges go, well, you can't have a good chase without a good lead.
Exactly.
Sometimes you might look great in the chase, but it's because the lead driver is doing a good job. Let's see who's going through to the top 16. And it's Kevin Piskolty. Kevin Piskolty gets the win and goes through. And you can see what it means to Kevin Piskolty, because that was a tough battle. And you know what? Give it up for Dawid Sposób, because I'll tell you one thing. He fought tooth and nail for that one. There's no harm in losing when you put on that good a show.
Exactly that, Dave. And you know what? He went down with a fight. He absolutely put it to Kevin Piskolty. But at the end of the day, the better man always comes out on top. And I think it was that lead line that really nailed it for him. We're going to go back now, after these guys leave the circuit, to the second half of the run between Benediktas, Čirba, and Więcek. Now, we know already, Dave, Więcek 100% at fault. That puts Benediktas, Čirba now in a really good position, plus he's leading.
Well, here's the thing. Więcek has nothing to lose now. He's going to be frustrated, he's going to be angry, he's going to be annoyed, and that says that he's going close on Čirba. He's going to risk the car here, Peter Więcek, to try and force an error from Čirba. Čirba's got all the advantage, but all Więcek can do is push Čirba to a point where he makes a mistake. He's got to make him nervous. He's got to psych him out. That's all he can do. So expect Więcek to be overly in a scary amount of aggression. The Lithuanian fans know Čirba's got the advantage, but Więcek's not done yet. He's going to come for this one.
Yeah, he's going to go for it, Dave. And the only way he can do it is by having that proximity and making Čirba make a mistake, getting in his head, getting into the door. Can he do it, though? He's been having trouble with that car all weekend. He slots the car into gear, and Čirba gets the green light to go. And now look at this, as Więcek gets a nice long run in. He wants to be right up close and personal as Čirba flicks the car across the circuit. Nice initiation from both guys. And here comes Więcek into the door, but now Čirba leads them both off track. Čirba takes them both off circuit, but they keep in it. As Čirba goes deep into outside zone 4, Więcek has to think about it, get himself back into the fight as they fire along the wall in front of the grandstand. Čirba nails it. Więcek almost comes in backwards as they bring it across the line.
Oh, no. Now it's all in the balance again. They did both stay going. But does Čirba now lead Więcek off track? It looks like the same thing happened again. Gets understeer. Look at Čirba. Front wheels are completely straight, and that's tough to call. Look at that. All four wheels. He's on big understeering.
Yeah.
And then Więcek does stay in it. So does Čirba. They both bounce through. Oh, this is going to be a tough one for the judges now, because
I already know what's going to happen.
But Čirba spun, so it was
I already know.
It's hard to know.
No, I know.
You know?
I know the answer.
I'm looking at it also, looking at Więcek's transition towards the wall here. He almost goes 90 degrees or over-rotates just here.
Yeah, look at this. Full lock. Cars backwards into the outside.
Makes it work. Oh, so we definitely have the Lithuanian and Polish fans in Mondello Park this weekend, and they're making a lot of noise, which we love. This is going to be a hard one to know which way it's going to go. Čirba and Więcek going through to the top 16 is... nobody. It's a one more time. And Więcek sighs relief, because the same thing, I'm going to go over to Kevin very quickly. Kevin, looked like the same thing happened twice.
That was literally a mirror image of both of them. It's so strange. Again, both drivers having a little bit of understeer as they're coming through inner zone 2, and both drivers leading the chase driver off. Both having incompletes in their lead run, so unfortunately, we just have to see it go one more time.
I mean, if you're Benediktas Čirba right now, Ian, you've got to be frustrated. You had him.
He had it in the bag.
He had it in the bag. He had Więcek on the ropes, and Więcek's like, oh, we get to go again, and now it's a different Peter Więcek. He's not going to try and make those mistakes again. We move it on to another two very, very talented drivers representing Great Britain. We got Steve Bagsy, Biagioni, and Jakub Król from Poland. Two full carbon Kevlar cars on the start line as Jakub Król jumps into a new car this season. But guess who else is in a new car? Bagsy. So this is going to be a tale of, was it worth building the car? Because they've both been looking very strong this weekend. Bagsy with that GT86 looks like he's getting comfortable each lap. So is Jakub Król. This is going to be another huge battle. Both drivers on form right now.
Yeah, both guys in two new cars. Both guys working out all the kinks. Both guys working out the little problems, learning these cars as Jakub Król comes sideways. Bagsy spinning tyres all the way down, but he gets onto the back bumper of Jakub Król's X14.9. Gives him some room. Bagsy needs to gain that proximity back, but Jakub Król now finds himself on a perfect lead line. Bagsy backs it in and tags the rear wheel to rear wheel and absolutely stops it on a dime.
I thought that was going to be a big crash because I saw Bagsy go back on throttle and I was like, I don't think Jakub Król is holding this. That was a pretty big hit. It looks to me like Bagsy risked it and just almost made it work, but he actually had pretty big impact with Jakub Król because it is a decel zone.
Yep.
So Bagsy has to expect Jakub Król to be decelerating in that zone, and Bagsy just fired caution to the wind there.
Now let's take a look at it from the drone, Dave. This is the point of view we like to see. The drone never lies. Jakub Król in that decel. Yeah, Bagsy comes in way hot. He comes through the transition. Front and rear wheel contact there, and you'll see Bagsy pop up here. Look at this. You can see Bagsy slowing the car down. Bam, big. There's no way that Jakub Król was going to hold on to that, especially with the contact on the rear wheel. I think Bagsy was just misplaced on a circuit.
I think he dove through, and we've watched Bagsy do that move a couple of times here at Mondello Park, and usually it works out great. You get that big dive onto the door and you win the battle, but on that particular occasion, he just had too much pace in the car. He transitioned so fast that it just looked like he just bumped into the back of Jakub Król. And Jakub Król, you could see, once he got the hit, it was a huge hit, so it spun the car right round. So, I mean, we could say it's all Jakub Król's advantage. We don't know what the judges are going to say.
No, we don't.
But from my perspective, it looks like that. But then, in the last battle, you notice that it went completely the other way. So, you cannot take your eyes off it. Just when you think you've got it all figured out in drifting, it can go completely the other way. So it looks to me right now like Jakub Król is going to be... I
think he's requested
a competition timeout for damage on the car, maybe?
I think they want to... I think more than anything, Dave, I think these guys want to check the car out. You know, they're sending the car over the hill. We're 140 kilometers an hour on the front wheel. Oh, yeah, he's saying, look, there's damage to the front wheel.
He's got a bent wheel.
Right.
He's got a bent wheel on the front of the car, so it looks like Jakub Król will be, if Bagsy's deemed at fault, be given a competition timeout to go back. But we'll have to double check that with the judges.
Yeah, I'm hearing it in my ears, Dave, from the judges straight to the tower. It is Deane, Bagsy at fault. Jakub Król will get a 10-minute competition timeout to go and fix that car. Obviously, Bagsy not allowed to check that car out. He will just have to back up off the grid and wait now to see if Jakub Król can fix that car. And you know what? I think this is going to be a tale from a lot of that entry into outside zone 4 because they are moving at some pace now.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a little bump, but you got to remember that they're going at over, 100 kilometers an hour. So when you hit, imagine driving down the motorway and someone just smashes into the back of your car. That's pretty much what these guys are doing, run after run. So it is going to be a competition timeout for Jakub Król. Bagsy will have to reset. He's not allowed to touch the car. He's got to get back up onto the gridding area and make sure that he's ready to go. And Jakub Król will be informed to go back to the pits and check that front wheel on the car to see if everything is okay. So it's going to be moving it on to our next battle. We'll revisit this one, and if you need it, here we go. Look at that. Bagsy, he's on the inside. He's picking up too much pace for me.
I think it was the transition from 3 to 4, Dave. I think Bagsy kind of mistimed it a little bit. Jakub Król was on a flyer. Bagsy knew he had to make the dive there, though. Otherwise, Król was going to drive away, and he was going to lose all the advantage.
Exactly. Next up, we've got a David and Goliath battle on the line. Rookie, school kid, 16 years of age from Ireland, Conor Falvey, will go up against one of the biggest names in European drifting, Juha Rintanen. Rintanen finishing 5th in the championship last year, over 10 years of European competition, and this is Conor Falvey's first ever battle in competition. This one is going to be really tough for Conor Falvey, and Juha Rintanen, new engine in the car this week, that car running at well over 1,000 horsepower now, and he's going to be every bit as hungry to get back in the championship race here. Pretty solid first start at Spain for Juha Rintanen. The Finnish fans are pinning their hopes on him and Shanahan this year, and a couple of others. Let's see if Rintanen can get himself up the order. Falvey, the higher qualifier, will lead Rintanen in the chase.
Yeah, here we go. Green light is going to pop up, and Conor Falvey will lead them down into initiation as they come through the gears, and we get a flashing light. Conor Falvey clipping a cone there on that chicane.
Yeah, false start. So if you guys are new to Drift Masters, if you touch one of the chicane cones, it is a reset. This is obviously to make sure that the lead car doesn't jump the blocks or get a clear shot. The reason that chicane is there is to make sure that the lead car can't get away from the chase car. Chase car can predict where he's going, and also the lead car is slowed purposely to make the chase car's life a little bit easier to stay with that lead car. So maybe a little bit of nerves from Conor Falvey there.
I'm just having a look at something here, Dave. Oh, yes, it's fine. It looked like there was something wrong with the front wheel of Conor Falvey's car, but it just appears there's maybe some rubber on the tyre. It looked like it was damaged from that angle, from that camera angle.
Marshall's saying everything all good, just a touch of the cone from Conor Falvey on the inside, so we are resetting and ready to go. Conor Falvey in the lead position, Juha Rintanen from Finland in the chase position. This one is all or nothing for both of these drivers as they come through the chicane, and we've got a clean start, and here we go.
Yeah, through the gears goes the 16-year-old Conor Falvey. He's got Juha Rintanen on his back bumper, no messing around. Rintanen wants this one, he's hungry for it, but Conor Falvey on an absolute ripper of a lead line so far. Very clever driving though from Juha Rintanen. He waits for the transition, now finds the door at S15 as he's on the foot brake. They come through outside zone 5 and he flicks it to the wall. Falvey's trying to get away from the Finnish driver Juha Rintanen, but there's no evading the power and the speed of that GR86.
Wow, Rintanen right up on the door. Great lead, great chase, and if you want to talk about the melting pot that Drift Masters is now, you've got one of the most experienced drivers in the game, I would say one of the best drivers Europe has ever produced in Juha Rintanen, and a brand new entrant to the championship in the rookie Conor Falvey, and they look well matched and having a great lead and chase here. No major mistakes from either driver.
No, incredible. Look at this, and look how cool, calm and collected Conor Falvey is inside the car. Looking out the window, doesn't even take a glance over to see where Rintanen is, and Rintanen's right there with him as he looks for the door. This is textbook stuff. Rintanen's transition timing is perfect.
I think when you look at it now, the real issue is going to be Conor Falvey's pace, because Rintanen running a lot more horsepower than Conor Falvey. He's got the faster car. We know Rintanen's one of the fastest drivers on the grid. That means Conor Falvey is going to have to jump that start line. He's going to have to take a risk through the first corner that will either pay off or it won't. So I think that Conor Falvey is going to have to take probably a bigger risk than Rintanen here to actually win this battle, and Rintanen knows he's got a good lead run in him. This is going to be really, really knife-edge stuff. As they remember, this is over motorway speed that they're pulling the handbrake and coming in over a blind crest off camber. This is going to be interesting.
This is going to be interesting, but Juha Rintanen said to me yesterday he wasn't feeling 100%. He said everything's not going that well for him this season. He needs to get something back, and look at Falvey. He's pace matching him, and he's now going to fall into formation as Conor Falvey knows he can't let Rintanen get away. Nice initiation for both of them. Rintanen, though, wandering and wavering, and that upsets Falvey. You can see him. He had to wait for that one. He dives into outside zone 4. Now, Conor Falvey finds the door of Juha Rintanen. He's going to go for an odd transition here as Falvey, as he goes into outside zone 4. Rintanen on a flyer finds the wall, but Falvey's on the door across the line.
It looks to me like Conor Falvey catching understeer, trying to match the pace of Juha Rintanen through the first quarter. And again, as you said, the pace being the difference. Had to cut some corners there. Watch this as they come through. Rintanen fires through that first corner.
Watch Rintanen's car, though. Watch this. It bobbles and wavers, and you can see all four wheels locked as he goes to outside zone 3.
I think Falvey's got understeer, and I think it's a separate problem. So they're both making mistakes there. Falvey makes a big dive here, but it's offline. And you can see Conor Falvey transitioning very early as well to the wall here. Look, he cuts right across the track, doesn't follow Rintanen. Does a very late transition, does get the proximity back here, but the judges will be looking at how he got that proximity. So a great run from both of these guys, and I will say Rintanen not super close to the walls, but again, in your GR86, you're scared. You're as close as anyone in an S15, that's for sure, because you can't hit walls off those wheels. This one will be tight. And Rintanen and Falvey will have to wait for the decision here to see who goes through to the top 16. And it is going to be Juha Rintanen gets the win. Juha Rintanen gets the win and goes through to the top 16. A valiant effort from Conor Falvey, just outpaced as far as I can see, Ian. And I think that's a welcome to the top level of European drifting for Conor Falvey, and how much pace and grip you need to go through that first corner. Rintanen, though, great to see him get that turn of pace and actually get a result, because he did pretty good in Spain, but he wants to be up the top of the order this weekend.
Yeah, I think that was a sigh of relief, you know, for Juha Rintanen. You could see he was a little nervous there in that decision, and when he got back in the car, he kind of let the sigh out as if to say, wow, that's one down. Maybe I can get this done this weekend. We go back to the line. It's going to be Mika Keski-Korpi to take on Quinn. Now, Quinn looking strong, but Keski-Korpi in this new car, Dave, every turn of the track has been getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be going up against Mika Keski-Korpi right now, because he is getting better and better, as you mentioned, and Quinn, well, he's very familiar with his machine, and Quinn, a wild card this weekend, nothing to lose, just wants to come and entertain, but he doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to go out, he wants to do more drifting, and the only way he can do more drifting is win the battle, so he's going to go in as hard as he can behind Keski-Korpi, but Keski-Korpi is fast.
Yeah, he is fast, David. This new car, he said he feels way more confident than anything else he's ever driven before. He waits for the green light, he goes. You can see Quinn there jumping the line, both guys spinning wheels, trying to get traction, trying to get away now as Quinn hunts for the side of that BMW. They fire in. Keski-Korpi on an absolute ripper at the moment. What a lead line from Keski-Korpi, as Quinn now waits for the transition, and Keski-Korpi is absolutely laying down a banger of a lead line right now, and he opens the door for Quinn to find that proximity as they transition into outside zone 4. Quinn can't find the door. He needs to be tapping on the side of that BMW, but he just can't get there.
Wow, Quinn did everything he could do. It just, again, looked like Keski-Korpi had far more pace in the car. And Kevin Quinn no major errors from either driver. Quinn leaves it very late to initiate just so he can get that inside line and lifting wheels off the ground as they come through there. So you're steering the car with essentially one wheel on the ground. Look at Kevin Quinn's concentration in the car, eyes wide open.
He can't see anything at that point. It was just a complete whiteout there for Kevin Quinn as he went through. Look, I mean, Kevin Quinn didn't do a whole lot wrong. I just think he didn't have the pace. You can see, look at his position on outside zone 4. He's way down. He can't really match the grip and the pace from that BMW F22. But Keski-Korpi, Dave, I mean, look, I don't want to keep reiterating over it and over it again, but he is flying in that car.
Yeah, and it's a different driver from last year as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the Finnish driver has found a new home in this BMW, and it looks like, as I said, some sketchy runs in Spain, but now every run this weekend looks like he is dialed. And Quinn, I think he had a similar situation to Conor Falvey before him. Had a very fast car in front of him, did all he could, but now Keski-Korpi knows, and his spotter knows. You have the faster car here, Mika. No excuses. Don't come back in here with some separation. Don't you come back into this pits with a lack of proximity. You have the car. Now I want to see it green all up the side of that white S15.
Well, look, he's taking a big run in here, Dave. He's positioned himself well back, and now he starts to green. The green light goes. And Kevin Quinn, look at Kevin Quinn. He's absolutely G-ing the car down the star line. Goes for a big flick, but it doesn't pay off. He has to use the handbrake, and that upsets Mika Keski-Korpi ever so slightly. Quinn goes wide, and Keski-Korpi has to throw on some big angle to avoid him. As now Kevin Quinn wanders away. Was in outside zone 4. Keski-Korpi looks for the transition. Through the smoke they come, up into the wall. Quinn goes for the wall. Keski-Korpi is right there. He's on the door, on the wall, up onto the side of Kevin Quinn's car across the line.
I didn't even know where Keski-Korpi was there at the end. He just disappeared for a moment. You can call him the magician. He just disappeared. It's a pretty bright car to lose. It looked to me like Quinn doing a great job. Keski-Korpi also doing a great job. Now, Quinn initiates late here, but makes it work. I gotta say, Kevin Quinn's run here pretty good all the way through. You can see Keski-Korpi coming into your vision there as they transition back. No major errors from Quinn. As you said, could have been a little wider here and there, but that was good on outer zone 3. I think Keski-Korpi just had so much pace he had to kind of back off on angle. Quinn late to the outer zone, as you mentioned. But from here, it looked to me like Quinn doing a good job getting out to the zones, getting that wall run dialed in. Right, like that wall run from Kevin Quinn, really good. But Keski-Korpi's right there. Now, Keski-Korpi kind of overshoots this and ends up in the smoke screen. And I'm not sure if he knew where he was towards the end of the run, but it looks like he came out of the smoke in the right place. So it's okay. But wow, very close battle again from Mika Keski-Korpi and Kevin Quinn. And who's going to go through to the top 16? It is going to be Mika Keski-Korpi getting the win and going through to the top 16. Keski-Korpi gets the win and goes through. And he's surprised by the decision. He's like, me? Was it me? It was definitely me. And you know what? Look at that. All business from Keski-Korpi. He wants a podium in this new car. And he's doing the right thing. He's going for it.
He's going for it. Look, and you know, the way he's on form, the way he's driving, and as fast as it could be the weekend he could do it. They're going to go back to the one more time battle between Benediktas Čirba and Peter Więcek. This one has been
brewing.
Slugfest.
It's been
so
brewing.
far.
This is like two guys, you know, having a fight outside a bar. You know, it calms down for a bit, then it comes back at it again.
They both walk away, and then they come back.
And they both fell over twice on the first runs too. So Peter Więcek is now in the lead position again. He had a massive error the first time, went off the track. Lithuania and Poland back at it again as it goes. This is a huge battle, and you can see that the occasion almost getting to both drivers the first time around. Now they've gone, there's no love lost now because both want to win. Čirba will be fuming that he didn't just take advantage of Więcek's mistake, and Więcek doesn't make many. So now we go back at it again. And the Lithuanian fans and the Polish fans in Mondello Park are ready to make some noise here as we are about to send these guys off the line. It's a clean battle we want. It may not be a clean battle we get as Więcek will lead Čirba in over the hill.
Yeah, and here they come through the chicane, goes Benediktas Čirba through the gears, comes Więcek as now Čirba looks for the back bumper. He wants to go close, and he goes close, almost takes the back end of Więcek's brand new Toyota Supra, and he transitions back again. Whoa! And he puts big angle on. How did he hold on to that? It looked like he was going to spin. Więcek keeps this one absolutely dialed, and now Čirba back into the fight once again. A big push onto the door as they go to the wall. Čirba pushing Więcek across the line.
Oh, that is top level. That is top level. Had it all. Mad dives, mad angle. How they both ended up on the finish line door to door, I'll never know. Look at this from Čirba at the fastest section of the track. And his transition, he pulls a Bagsy here and goes absolutely firing through. Thought it was going to be a collision. backs off a little bit, and this is an error from Čirba, but then he gets right back on Więcek again, and Więcek's lead run is exceptional. Oh, I don't know.
I don't even know.
Like, I mean, you've got a mistake from Čirba, but the rest of the run is unbelievable. And Więcek with no errors this time around.
That was incredible.
Oh, I'm taking a moment.
Yeah, I need a moment. I need a moment.
It's top 32. Just remind everybody, this is top 32. This is the warm-up.
This is the warm-up for the main event.
And we're getting moments here that we haven't seen in Mondello Park before. And like, now what does Więcek? He's got to risk it because Čirba's
look at him backing up. He's backing up.
He's actually reversed Peter Więcek there to get more of a run-in at the Lithuanian driver as Więcek is going for it here. Więcek's got to put it on the door on initiation. Has to. Čirba's done all the hard work. He only had one wobble in the run, but he had all the proximity. Now, if Więcek has no proximity here, it's over and done with. Więcek knows. His spotter's on the radio saying, Peter, you know, this is time to just put your brain in the passenger seat and go for it because you've got to take a risk. And look at the frustration in Peter Więcek. He's psyching himself up here for a big run. This one is going to be one you're going to remember, I think, in a couple of years because these guys are not backing down. He even takes down the start line cone. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go through the gears they go. And look at this. Więcek goes for a big swing in as Čirba fires in. And now, Więcek takes the back end of Čirba's BMW on the outside zone 3. That was insane. And they keep in it. Body panels flying everywhere as Čirba puts the hammer to the floor. Tries to drive away from Więcek. Gets the ball run nailed. Čirba goes wider than anyone, but Więcek's on the door, pushing Čirba.
Oh, that's unbelievable. That has to be two of the most exciting runs I've ever seen in Mondello Park.
This is the final, right?
They had contact.
This is a
contact final. On initiation. Not on initiation. Through the inner zone.
Through the inner zone.
Oh, that's exactly my feelings, young lady. That was...
Look at this. Watch this.
Boom. Smashes the back of the car. And Čirba stays in it.
Čirba has to handbrake to adjust for the contact. Look at this. Boom.
But is Čirba over the inside of the car?
Čirba's offline.
He's offline. He's kind of on the inside of the track there. So I'm not sure what the judges are going to make of that one.
I think Więcek pushed Čirba back on the qualifying line.
I think Čirba, yeah, was on an inside line. And then this at the end is just... Čirba goes to the wall. Look at this wall run from Čirba. Oh, and then Więcek just absolutely bullies him over the finish line. This is insane. I can watch. Can we just call it off and have the Więcek versus Čirba round for a bit? We'll just get a private track and let these two guys battle all day because that was unbelievable.
Look at this.
Bits of car everywhere. Oh, Mondello Park, give it up for Čirba and Więcek, but who's going through to the top 16? It's going to be Peter Więcek gets the win. Peter Więcek goes through. Więcek gets the win and goes through. Więcek gets the win.
He's surprised. He can't believe it. He's like,
goes through. Unbelievable from Peter Więcek. I'll tell you what, Kevin, I'm going to quickly back to you. Is it down to that initiation from Čirba?
Yeah, it all comes down to that first corner, and like if you take it back to the first run, Peter having an absolutely phenomenal lead line and giving Čirba absolutely every opportunity to stick it on his door, and even then Čirba did make a quite significant mistake coming into the Mobil 1 corner where he over-rotated. Then you compared this, which was a major mistake. Unfortunately, Čirba over-rotating, has to shallow up and massively causing that contact between the two drivers. So from there, already Peter was at a huge advantage, and realistically, Čirba wasn't going to overcome it for the rest of the run.
So there you have it. Understeer, look, he's up over 2 wheels on the inside of the track, so he has big problems.
He knew it as well. Did you see what he said?
Yeah.
He was like
He said 2 wheels off. So we move it along. Well,
it's back to the second half.
Another sort of clash, literally, of the Titans.
Yeah.
We have Jakub Król and Steve Biagioni. Collision on the first run. Looks like it was Bagsy's fault, and now Bagsy's in the lead position, so not a whole lot he can do from here except put in a good run. Jakub Król knows just no mistakes, and he's going through. But it's easier said. Yeah, maybe one of these drivers will listen to us one point. And
I don't think that's going to happen today. I think today something's happened in Mondello Park and none of these guys are going to get it done. I think Jakub Król, like you say, needs to keep it clean. Bagsy, all he can do is put in a banger of a lead line, but Jakub Król must be feeling a little bit flustered after that contact. But then through the chicane day, through the gears, they come down the hill. Bagsy to lead out Jakub Król, UK versus Poland right now. And the bumpers are off and the panels are flying as Bagsy puts down an absolutely incredible initiation, goes way deep on outside zone 3, times it perfectly. But you can Jakub Król, he's timing it absolutely spot on. He's keeping his distance, not too much messing around from Jakub Król as Bagsy tries to drive away from Król. And Król just keeping his distance, no messing around. But will that be deemed less of a fault from the judges across the line? I think Król didn't do enough there.
Really?
Watch it back, Dave.
It's a pretty big mistake from Bagsy in the first run.
Watch Król. There's a lot of mistakes creeping in here from the chase position, Dave. I don't know. Yeah, obviously Bagsy was massively at fault. There was a big check up here from Bagsy as well. Shallowed up the angle. I thought he was going to go off circuit. But Król from here starts to wander and waver. Look at this. He's
not incompleting.
Nope.
So that's what Bagsy did. You know, he hit him, he completed. I'm not being harsh. It was a phenomenal run from Bagsy, but I'm just saying that's a huge mistake to overcome the first run. But he thumped him. Clean off the track. I think Jakub Król did the bare minimum of drifting to get through the run.
I think he's just done enough.
I think he's done enough. That's where we can have our own opinion.
Yeah. I mean, look,
it's a free country. We can have our own opinions. I think it was too little too late. Let's see what happens. Who's going through to the top 16? And it is going to be Jakub Król getting the win. Jakub Król gets the win and goes through. Jakub Król goes through to the top 16. And again, I just don't think there was any way back for Bagsy unless Jakub Król spun or went off track.
As much as I would like to have seen Jakub Król more in the fight, I think you're right. I think he just done enough.
He played it right. That's what I would do. I'd just say, just get around. Bagsy's so good. You've got him on the ropes. Don't mess it up. Don't do what Čirba did and try and overdrive.
Yeah, you're right. Could have done a Čirba.
He could have. And that's Holovnia on the line next against Przygoński. And I'll tell you what, this one is going to be another big battle. Every single battle in this top 32. We are not getting any rest up here today because every battle is like a final. Holovnia from the Ukraine looks dialed, looks ready, goes up against Kuba Przygoński, who had some battle practice in the qualifying showdown yesterday and said the car has never worked as good. He's feeling comfortable. I think Kuba's the one to watch this weekend, but he's got to go through a very steely competitor in Holovnia.
Yeah, Holovnia is, one of those guys that on a good day can absolutely blow the doors off anyone. But for me, Przygoński's been looking strong. Yesterday he got that extra little bit of seat time, that little taste of what Top 32 has to offer. Creeping through the start line is Alex Holovnia from Ukraine. They come off the line, Poland versus Ukraine, as they come through the gears. And look how ice cold Przygoński is. He flicks that car across the circuit, but there's no shaking Alex Holovnia right now as he now dials in onto the door. And it's a beautiful lead line from Przygoński as Alex Holovnia uses all of that opportunity to gain that proximity in outside zone 4. They fire through, look for outside zone 5. The transition back from Holovnia is insane, and he makes a massive dive. Big angle from Holovnia, rear wheel to rear wheel as they go across the line.
That's outrageous. That's an outrageous dive from Holovnia. Oh my goodness, there was no need. There was a lot of expensive car on the line there. He somehow squeezed it in like ham in a sandwich between the wall and the car. I'll tell you what, at that point I thought Holovnia was doing pretty good, but that could have, really pushed it over the edge. He lost a little bit of ground at places, and I think he knew it. I think he knew here he could have been a little bit closer. But I gotta say, Holovnia's dive there for me, if you want that proximity, if you want the judges, that exclamation point that they're going to talk about, well, he gave it to them.
Yeah, look at this. As it come through outside zone 5. And you know what, for me, Holovnia's on a really nice wide line as well. Look at that. Almost all 4 wheels locked up into the outside zone. Down the foot brake. That was beautiful from Alex Holovnia.
There's pressure on Kuba now. Big pressure on Kuba Przygoński now, because I thought his lead run would be strong enough. It's not. He needs big proximity here if he's going to win this battle. Holovnia's
that lead line was beautiful.
No, it was in like the lead line would be enough to win the battle. But then Holovnia brought the chase. Therefore, he's got to bring the proximity when we switch him around, because on form from yesterday, you would say Kuba's going to run away with this. Yeah. But Holovnia.
Maybe that is a downside of doing the showdown battles. Everyone gets to see the car, gets to see your line, gets to work you out.
Maybe his team were having a quick look at Przygoński yesterday, even say we could make some adjustments here. We know what he's going to do. So Przygoński now in the chase. We have Holovnia in the lead. Here we go, Ukraine versus Poland. Look at Kuba Przygoński. He's right there on initiation.
Yeah, he's lost a little bit of ground though. He waits for that initiation. He times it perfectly. Holovnia, on the inside. Both guys go up the curb. And now that puts Przygoński on a weird place to transition, but they make it work as Holovnia gets into outside zone 5. Look at Przygoński nosing that GR86 up into the door of that BMW as they fire down to the wall. And Holovnia looks for it. And Przygoński tags the front wheel and almost puts himself into a spin.
Ow. I don't know.
Now you're eating your words a little bit now, Dave.
No, I'm saying, I don't know. Did Holovnia throw a big angle and that's why Przygoński hit him, or what happened in that last zone?
Look, there's 2 tactics to take out of this. Holovnia was way on the inside.
Yeah, not as good a lead run from Holovnia.
No,
here.
But there was contact from Przygoński. Watch this as we go back to the onboard. Look at Przygoński, he's so dialed in that car, down through the gears, one-handed.
Casual. Just going to the shops now. What happens here on this last corner? This is where it's going to... So Holovnia kind of goes on big angle.
He locks up, look, climbs up the front of the car. Front wheel to front wheel.
Yeah, so that to me is going to be a big whichever way the judges go there, that's going to be a big part of this battle.
But you've got to weigh up those mistakes. Is that contact as bad as the, being over on inside zone 2?
I don't know.
And do you know what?
I'm sitting here going, what would I judge? And I'm like, I don't know.
I said last night when the battle tree came out, I would never judge that.
We got 3 very, very accomplished judges. We got Kevin, we got Vernon, we got David, and they're having a good look. And we also have a 4th judge, which people probably don't know about, who is doing all of the replays. So he's got all the camera angles, he's got all the different angles to see what happened. Holovnia looks on power to me when Przygoński hits him, so that's going to be what the judges are looking at.
It doesn't really upset Alex Holovnia as much as what we thought.
Holovnia, like a machine there, just went, I'm going. Doesn't matter. Hit me all you want.
All beast mode.
Who's going to go to the top 16?
No one knows yet, Dave.
Nobody knows.
Still looking at the replays. Still looking at replays.
Got a lot of tension going there, didn't I?
Yeah, you tried.
And you can see they're having a quick conversation. It's going to come down to this, I think. So does Holovnia slow down too much?
But look at the line of Przygoński.
Yeah,
he's on the inside.
He's on the inside and he's going very, very fast because,
he's a fast guy.
Doing your mathematics, he's covering a shorter amount of distance because he's on the inside. So he's going faster. That's how that works.
Did you have a banana this morning?
I had 2. So therefore,
it's going
to wear off now, top 16. I won't know. I'll be only able to tell you shapes and colors. But right now, I can tell you right now that Holovnia, as he goes through, now this is just a handbrake from Holovnia. He did lock up quite heavily, but he went back on throttle, and you can see Kuba kind of cutting through. Oh, hard to know.
Przygoński kind of triangulated that outside zone. Here we go, Dave.
We have a decision in. Who's going through to the top 16? And it's Kuba Przygoński gets the win. Kuba Przygoński gets the win and goes through to the top 16. And a little word back from Kevin. Kevin, it kind of came down to that contact. Looked to me like Kuba maybe taking that inside line, going a little too fast.
Yeah, it did come down to contact, but it also came down to mistakes. You remember the first run, Kuba laying down an absolutely astonishing lead run. Very few mistakes, a couple of very minor wheel drops here, and again gave Holovnia all the opportunity to sit in on that chase run and actually have a good chase. Whereas then you switch him around then, and unfortunately Holovnia making a major mistake on initiation there. At inner zone 2, he puts a wheel up on the dirt there, and I think honestly that messes up Kuba for the rest of the run. Yes, you can see this contact here. We did deliberate on that, and I think both drivers slightly at fault over it, but realistically for me there was already a massive disadvantage from the first corner, which was so much more important to us here. So overall, Kuba making less mistakes than Holovnia and getting the win.
I get you, Kevin. I get you, and I understand it, and that's a good call. And I'll tell you what, we're going to have another really, no exciting battle. Easy battle. It's not going to be shouting here because it's only Torin and Kvia and Oliver Randalu, 2 guys who have hit the podium here before. So Kvia from Norway, and we know what he's able to bring. And the Estonian, Oliver Randalu. Randalu hitting the podium in Ireland 2 years ago, so he loves this track. This is going to be Estonia versus Norway, and there's going to be no love lost here. This is going to be a very aggressive battle.
Yeah, both guys that want to get back on form, back into the show, back in the limelight, Dave. Kvia back to 2024. Randalu in a brand new build, said he feels better than ever in this new car. Now he needs to prove it works. Now he needs to prove it's a time. Visor goes down, through the gears they go. Can he hold on to the pace and the power in that car? And there's a very late initiation from Kvia, and that upsets Oliver Randalu, but now they get back into it. Big handbrake drag there for Kvia, but he works itself back into outside zone 4. But look at Randalu, he's hunting him down. An early transition from Randalu. Will that misplace him? No, he gets him right into outside zone 4 as Kvia hammers the rev limiter across the line.
You know what? It looked uncharacteristic from Kvia there throughout the run. It looked like he was throwing angle at a lot of places on the track and just not getting the perfect smooth line.
I wonder if he misshifted, because he left the initiation. Look at that.
It's very late.
Way too late.
And you can see actually Oliver Randalu initiates before Kvia because he's like, well, this is where we initiate. This is what's happening. Wheel off the ground from Kvia as he comes through here, but it looks to me like every time Kvia transitions, it's a very snappy transition. And the car, you can see moving a lot of suspension movement. Kvia falling out of that zone, Randalu right there with him.
I wonder
watch this snap from Kvia here. Look, very big angle here. And it sort of puts him on the inside, and he can't stay in that outer zone. He kind of falls out of it just about here. So Randalu doing a good job. It looks to me like the movement on the front of Kvia's car, it looks very soft, the car, moves around a lot. Looks tricky to drive.
I wonder if Kvia's got transmission problems or an issue, because...
So Kvia, we just noticed from the judges, Kvia did not initiate by the initiation line, meaning Kvia is getting a 0 or an incomplete for that run. Big moves from the judges. And he's right. I'm just.
Yeah, looking back at their replay from across the tower, they're rewinding and showing us the exact point of where Kvia initiated.
Kvia
It was over that white line.
does not initiate by the initiation zone, which means he is not drifting where he's supposed to be drifting, meaning he got an incomplete, meaning Oliver Randalu, now in the lead position, just needs a clean run here, and he's going to top 16. Drama upon drama here at Drift Masters.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. He comes in bag loads as he fires in, and once again, Kvia doing the same thing and handbraking through that inner zone. Oliver Randalu looks like he's on form, looks like the car's working 100% in outside zone 4. Kvia goes for the door. He needs to try and claw something back, but I don't think there's any fight left in this one for Kvia, because Randalu looks like he's on rails. Absolutely pins the BMW to the wall across the line, and Kvia, nothing.
There's got to be something up with Kvia's car.
100%.
It has to be. That is not the Touran and Kvia that we know and love here in Drift Masters. Something very, very unusual happening. And Oliver Randalu, well, he's not going to back down one bit, and in the lead position doing exactly what he needed to do. And if we are to look at Kvia again, very late initiation, almost not able to spin the wheels through the first corner. Something definitely down on power in that car.
Yeah,
something strange happening.
There's an issue with that car for sure. And Kvia,
like he's in the wrong gear, or has to be in the wrong gear, or something up with it. But a valiant effort from Kvia, but it looks to me like I think this is written on the wall here. I think Kvia with that incomplete on the first run of not initiating by the initiation zone. You can see that line painted across the track. Kvia drives by that, then initiates. That seems unusual to me. Something strange going on there.
Well, Dave, I've just took a look out the window of the commentary tower, and I can see Kvia has the bonnet open on the car, and he's shaking his head. And I wonder if he's way down on power, or something broke in the burnout box. No time to fix it. Had to go to the line and had to do something.
I think it's obvious. This is going to be one of the more obvious decisions in the top 32. Going through is Oliver Randalu from Estonia. Goes through to the top 16. And Kvia, well, he'll be furious. He'll be frustrated. Came all the way from Norway to Ireland, and the car just at the last minute. But as we await the next battle, we'll go over to Becky. Becky is with Peter Więcek, who's been in a war with Benediktas Čirba in the top 32.
Yes, a war indeed, Dave. Now, Peter, Valencia didn't go your way. An early exit in top 32, but now you've got the monkey off your back. You threw your first top 32 here in Mondello. How was that for you? Looked a little bit sketchy to all of us out there.
Yeah, certainly it was a tough day for me from the beginning. The warm-up went according to our will, let's say. We constantly have some issues, and I think that the track has a bit more grip in my case to comparing to the runs which we have in Friday. But we managed to adapt to that, doing our one more time, of course, because the first one was the one to forget, and now focus on the good stuff. So hopefully we will be able to keep on going.
We were wondering if you actually incurred any damage during that first battle.
Actually, no, it was just a loose screw on the loose nut on the coilover, and that's it. So car is behaving really well. Now just I need to adapt to the car and also start to behave really well, and hopefully that's gonna be enough.
I'm absolutely sure of it, Peter. Good luck in your next battle. You've got Jack next. There's somebody you know you can push really hard against.
Yeah, can't wait for that. Thank you guys for cheering me up, and see you in the battle with Jack.
Back to you guys.
Oh, Jack Shanahan, Peter Więcek coming up later. It's like a trailer for the best film ever, isn't it?
Battle of the top 16.
Oh, just in top 16, casual Więcek Shanahan battle coming up. Here we go. Timu Peltola against Orjan Nilsen. I've been looking forward to this one because
I just want to see the wagon.
You know, if you're looking at modern drift cars, you go, you know what I'll do? A diesel Mercedes against a Toyota Soarer. There's some common things you'll see in Drift Masters, but for some reason they've made these cars work so well. Orjan Nilsen from Norway, Timu Peltola from Finland, and Peltola running 5 bar of boost in this Mercedes wagon on a diesel engine, 1,200 Newton meters. And this is going to be interesting because both of these guys have been driving very well. Look at the cloud of black smoke off the start line from Timu Peltola. Here we go, through the chicane they are, and Orjan Nilsen to lead him in.
Yeah, Nilsen leading them in. Oh, a big pace, and I wonder if there's a problem with Peltola's Mercedes-Benz wagon because it didn't get up and go. And yeah, look at this, a massive loss, maybe no power, and that allows Orjan Nilsen to drive away. And such a shame. Peltola's been absolutely flying this weekend, Dave.
And that's 2 rounds in a row where mechanical failure has cost Timu Peltola, because in the first round they had an engine failure. They were absolutely flying in practice and qualifying, but when it comes to the top 32, the car completely shuts down. The Irish audience give a round of applause to Timu Peltola. Unfortunately, going all the way from Finland, not getting the result, and it looks like he's got absolutely no drive in that Mercedes there. It just looks like it's cruising to a halt.
She tried to initiate, yeah.
Just no wheel speed. Take nothing away, though, from Orjan Nilsen. Phenomenal lead run from the Norwegian. Orjan Nilsen, you know, dark horse this weekend, could be the guy to take it all. Loves it here at Mondello.
I mean, look, he's been close to the podium before in Mondello Park, Dave. He loves this circuit, and unfortunately, just never been able to take a step onto that podium. And car's working fine. They've done a lot of work onto this in this car in the off season. Spent a lot of time rebuilding it, and Peltola says, "I'm done."
Yeah, it looks like they have a full terminal failure in that Mercedes, and after doing all of practice and qualifying, the car was working fantastically well, and unfortunately, Timo Peltola will creep off the track, and that, I think, might be the end of his weekend if they don't get, it looks like there's no 5-minute rules, so he's going to go back to the start line?
He's going to go back to the start line, so it just come over to the headset that he had a power failure. So I'm not sure if that's the car shut down on initiation or after he initiated. But he said, look, I'll go back to the start line and try it again. But now the worrying thing is he's leading in Oliver.
This is where you get some of those language barriers, because what we've been told is it's a power switch failure. I don't know what that means. Is that like an electrical cutoff?
I'm going to say that's an electrical cutoff. Yeah.
So something cut the car out for some reason, and he's going to try and do another run, which could be very dangerous for Orjan Nilsen, who has to chase him in. Because we don't know what's going to happen here. And welcome to Drama Masters one more time in Mondello Park.
He's all ready to rock and roll, and now it looks like he's
yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah. Close your eyes, open your eyes. What do you want to do? Anything could happen here. Timo's been asked by our Starline Marshal, is the car okay? And he's probably saying, I don't know.
He's pointing at the wheels. He's like, there's wheels on the front.
Yeah, there's wheels on the front, wheels on the back, and there's an engine. So I feel like I want to go again.
Shut that door and I'll just try.
Yeah, let's give it a go. We came this far. So he's psyching himself up for what, I don't know, and he doesn't know if the car is going to work or not.
Because knowing Timo Peltola, he'll probably put down a 100-point qualifying run. Orjan Nilsen, knowing Orjan Nilsen, might end up in the grandstand.
We just don't know what's going to happen here. These two guys are completely unhinged, I think.
They are unhinged,
yeah. So we're going to see if there is. We've got white smoke, we've got black smoke, we haven't got a new pope, but we have got Timo Peltola coming off the start line, and he's got power.
He's got power, and he's going for it this time now, and he has a big initiation and fires the car in. Orjan Nilsen a little bit surprised by that. Maybe didn't think it was going to happen, but he goes two wheels on the inside of the circuit, and that will be points deducted, but it will be advantage for Nilsen at the moment. He's going very wide. Oh, he's flicking the car all over the circuit, loses grip, loses the back end, back into it he goes, and Orjan Nilsen trying to adjust, trying to balance, just trying to put on a fair fight. As they come towards the finish line, Nilsen says, I'm glad that one's done.
Yeah, Orjan Nilsen was like, I have no idea what's going on in front of me here right now, but he did well to adapt to it. And Timo did everything he could do. He wanted to go out on his feet. He wanted to go out drifting, not in the pits. And I think Timo, a little smile there, just said, at least I got a good run in. But I think it's going to be the end of the weekend for Timo. He definitely did some rallycross there as he came through the first corner.
And not your typical rallycross car either.
No, well, it's not your typical car for drifting either. I mean, a lot of people probably arrived here with a full load of kids in the back of one of these, and he's here drifting it with 1,200 Newton meters of torque. So I think Orjan Nilsen just playing it safe, just backed off a little bit and said, I'll just see what he's going to do. I'll try and see what he's going to do. As they get out of the car, they're going to have a decision from the judges. It's for a space in the top 16, and it is going to be Orjan Nilsen getting the win. Orjan Nilsen getting the win and going through. Not a surprise in any way, shape, or form, but Orjan Nilsen doing the right thing, doing the clever thing, keeping it tidy and getting through to the top 16. And again, I think, you know what, now his cards aren't on the table here with the chase position, so I think he's going to be a steely competitor. You can see the whole back end of that Mercedes tried to exit the chat there as they came through the gravel. And the grill falling off, and just a catastrophe, really.
Self-destructed, basically.
It just was falling apart. But still the coolest car on the grid, in my opinion. I mean, we love people doing something different, and Orjan Nilsen gets the call and goes through.
So there we go, another two steely competitors go head-to-head. We move it along in a minute, though, to the next battle of the weekend, and it will be Fionn Roche to take on Ite Sada. Fionn Roche been on a flyer, and the only guy from the team Shanahan's to make it through in competition in Spain, the guy that was looking strong, brand new competitor for 2024. And here we go, we're going to get the decision comes in now, and Orjan Nilsen gets the handshake from Timo Peltola. Peltola knows what's going on, he knows what's happening. Give him a round of applause for everyone in attendance. A man trying something different, a man doing something completely wild in a drift car, and a drift car that, as me and Dave said, probably a few of them parked up in the car park out back. Fionn Roche, though, Dave, looking strong this weekend.
He is.
Hometown hero.
Well, I mean, you've got two youngsters here.
Yeah.
You know, absolute youngsters. You've got a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old on the start line at one of the biggest drift events in the world. Fionn Roche, rookie this year, 19 years of age in a Shanahan-built car. He's on the Shanahan team this year. Both two other Shanahan cars are in the top 16. Could Fionn Roche replicate that? And it tasted that. Also another driver, what is it, 17 years of age? I mean, these are kids.
Kids.
You can't even get a license legally in Ireland, but you can drive at over 140k sideways. That's the world we live in.
That's how it is right now. But look at the running we're going to get from Itay Sede. He knows that Fionn Roche is fast. He gets the green light, and they come through at the chicane. Fionn Roche to lead in Itay Sede as he smokes the tyres on the back of that GT86. Big opposite flick there from Fionn Roche, and he is up and gone, and that catches Itay Sede way unaware. He gets massive understeer. Now he goes for a dive, tags the back end of Fionn Roche and has to straighten up. Roche holds onto it though, deals with the contact as he now looks for the wall run. Itay Sede gets him back himself into the fight. But this one looks like it's all coins in the pot for Fionn Roche.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got to look at Fionn Roche as a rookie in this championship, youngster from, you know, in front of a home crowd, obviously feeding off that, but he takes a big hit from Itay Sede and he just keeps on trucking, goes around the corner, doesn't even go off the track. And I mean, Fionn Roche came in with blistering pace into that first corner.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And that caught Itay. You know, he wasn't ready for that. He caught massive understeer. Look at this from Fionn Roche. Absolutely dialed.
Because he just takes the hit and just goes,
I'll take that.
That's fine.
Big
Look at that.
rear wheel to rear wheel.
And at that point, Itay has to back off, loses mind. I'd imagine the steering wheel jumps in his hand, and Itay making a big error there in the chase position as Fionn Roche just keeps on going. Itay tries to get back into it towards the end of the run, but I think it's a little too late. Big mistake made. I would imagine an incomplete from Itay Sede from that shutdown on the outer zone. So Fionn Roche, you got to say, he was the highest finishing driver of the Shanahan team in Spain. And, you know, if you're starting to think maybe that was a fluke, maybe that was just the way things went that day. Well, it goes to show this guy has the talent to be here. And I tell you what, I would be starting to think that Fionn Roche is building a lot of confidence every single run.
Yeah, I mean, look, he must look across the paddock and say, I've got two of the, you know, best drivers in the championship to take advantage of, to use their knowledge, to use their skill and hone my skill to be where I want to be. And you can see the door open there on Fionn Roche's car, talking to our start line Marshall Martin. And I wonder again if this could be another competition timeout. Could he be requesting to go back to the paddock?
Well, basically, he's going to be asked here because Itay had contact. Now Fionn Roche will be asked, do you want to fix the car, inspect the car, or you want to go? So he says, are you okay? Are you good to go? We're going to try and understand what conversation is going to happen. So I think they're explaining to him that you can go back to the pit area and fix the car.
Getting it in my ears, it is confirmed. Competition timeout for Fionn Roche, so that does deem Itay Sede at fault. And Fionn Roche, yeah, look at this, he's just doing the swerve, Dave, the drift swerve.
Just is anything going to fall off the car as I do this? So he's going to go back in and just inspect. This will be the rear passenger side of that car, which will be checked just to see if everything's okay. You can see him checking the handbrake, checking that everything's okay, because remember, in drifting, you might go, oh, I want to see him go drifting. Why is he checking the car? Well, you got to remember, a huge amount of time, energy, money, and all on the line. And you don't want to go into that first run, incomplete the run because of damage, and then you've got...
Then you're in one more time.
Then you're in one more time. So they're having a quick check over on everything to make sure everything is okay on the car. And then Fionn Roche will be back out for the second half of that battle. Itay Sede will re-grid. He's not allowed to check the car because he was deemed at fault. Yeah,
exactly that. So he'll go back round to the back of the grid, and he'll have to now painfully wait for Fionn Roche to get that car repaired and back out or checked over to make sure it is 110%. And we've got a big one coming up, Dave, on the line.
Oh, they're all big ones, but this is another big one for the championship. So Laurie Heinahan, who came second last year, second in the finals, second in the championship. It was a second. He doesn't want to be second anymore.
No.
He wants to win. Even in Ireland last year, as far as I remember, he came second.
Yep.
So there's only so many times you can go second before you want to go first. And that's what Laurie Heinahan's trying to do this year. At the moment, we don't know. He could be he's very much in the championship race after round one, qualifying very high yesterday. Clint Van Oort, though, had phenomenal form in Spain. In that yellow S14, the Dutch driver looked really comfortable, and he's going to know the quality of Heinahan beside him. He's going to know that he can trust to go close. This is going to be a very good battle here.
Yeah, this is going to be tight. Clint Van Oort, look, nothing to lose for this one, and he knows he can trust Laurie Heinahan. He knows Heinahan's got what it takes to take a championship, to be the best that there is. And he looks across and he says, well, I'm going to lean on you. I'm going to push. I'm going to lead. I'm going to follow every single move you make as they get the green light through the chicane they come. It will be Laurie Heinahan to lead out Clint Van Oort through the gears they come. Van Oort doesn't want to let Heinahan get away. He knows he's got the pace, and it's a big initiation for both guys. As that NASCAR V8 screams, Clint Van Aert holds onto it, dials on a little bit too much angle, puts himself on the inside of the circuit as Heinonen finds that wide outside line and looks absolutely cool, calm and collected as he gets into that final outside zone. Clint Van Aert tried everything he can to get up into the door, but Heinonen is up and gone.
Yeah. Oh, the sound of Heinenen's car is just incredible here in the flesh. Dodge NASCAR V8 with a big old supercharger bolted onto it, and we said, you know, Laurie, how much power is it running? He goes, I don't know. He just put it on it and said, I don't know how much the engine can take. We just kept tuning and turning up the boost until we said, that's enough power. So it's, Heinen said he made all the mistakes yesterday. He doesn't want to make any today, and I think he stayed true to his word. No mistakes in the lead position. Clint, it was the transition at outer zone 3 for me. Just snap the transition, put him on the inside of the track, and that's where you can make a mistake, trying to be too aggressive. And it looked to me like he lost a lot of ground on Heinen there.
He certainly did, and once you lose that ground, once you lose that pace, you know you're not going to claw it back, especially with someone like Laurie Heinen, who will have his car turned up to 11 today because he'll want that consistency. He'll want to be pushing all the way through to the final. He'll want a podium, and he knows now the Shanahans are in the fight. And the next battle coming up is a big one because he knows if that one person wins in that, the championship could be on the line this afternoon.
Well, Clint Van Aert has a disadvantage, and you might think, well, it's all over now. But we've watched this top 32 from start to finish, and we've said, you never know what's going to happen next to Drift Masters. So Clint Van Aert now in the lead position. The Dutch driver will have to put on a perfect lead, and Heinen will definitely be told by his team, Laurie, you just play your cards right here, get close, be consistent. You're going to the top 16 of the championship still, very much in your hands. But let's see what happens over the next 50 seconds as they go through the gears and up over the hill.
Combs down, Dave, on the chicane.
I got all built,
you got all
built up, and then it just have to go back and start again.
And Clint said no.
And again, that's why that chicane is there, so no driver can shoot through the chicane and get an advantage, basically, or jump the light.
And our start line Marshall Martin just pointing at Clint Van Aert like, it was you.
It was you.
You did it. You hit the cone.
Look at you. You're the troublemaker. So, yeah, you can see we're going to reset him. And again, that's a tough one for the drivers because Laurie would have been, you know, geared up for that run-in.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden you got to amp yourself back up again for the same thing again.
Exactly. As a driver, you sit on that line, you hype yourself up. We've seen them do it time and time again. You know, they punch the window, they get themselves built up, they get the car in gear, and then all of a sudden, no, it's go again time. Well, here we go. They're off the line this time. Can it be a clean one? It certainly is, as Clint Van Aert gets through the chicane cleanly. Now pulls them both down, and look at this from Laurie Heinen on the back bumper, initiates at the same time. Big angle from Clint Van Aert, and Laurie Heinen puts a wheel on the inside, but deals with it now as they fire back into outside zone 4. Goes Clint Van Aert and over-rotates, and that upsets Laurie Heinen massively. Clint Van Aert does keep himself going. Laurie Heinen shuts it down, and he'll leave that one in the judge's hands.
Yeah, I think Laurie Heinen knew, well, what do you want me to do with that?
Yeah.
So I think Laurie Heinen just shut it down, saying, hey, there's no chasing that. That's an unchaseable lead, as the judges will say, which means that Clint Van Aert making a mistake on both the lead and the chase. Laurie, I think, is judging himself there.
Yeah. He's almost a judge.
If you look at the speed they're coming through there, Laurie Heinen's window was bent almost at 90 degrees to the side of the car because it was going so fast. Remember, they put all this aerodynamics on the car and then they throw them the complete opposite direction. So you can have all these fenders and wings and stuff, but you're not going.
Look at Heinen. Oh,
he's like, oh, no. So Heinen, I think, knew the situation there. Clint Van Aert's going to know the situation here too. Not the most difficult decision for the judges. Going through to the top 16, keeping the form alive is Laurie Heinen. Laurie Heinen gets the win. Laurie Heinen gets the win and goes through to the top 16. No surprise there.
No.
Clint doing everything he could, but just pushing that little too hard.
Yeah, I mean, look, you go up against someone like Laurie Heinen, Dave, you know you have to push really hard. And Clint Van Aert, what I said, like, look, I'll do what I can. Phil Roche's car in the paddock, being lowered back down. The team would have checked it all over and made sure it was perfectly aligned, perfectly ready to rock and roll. And Phil Roche not even getting out of the car. And Phil Roche, we will go back to the start line. But this is the battle that I'm talking about.
Well, this is the most important battle in the championship right now.
This has a massive effect on the championship. This has a massive effect on top 16, Dave.
Absolutely. Kevin Pazur, the winner of round 1 in Spain, is on the line in the lead position. He is up against Paweł Korpelinski from Poland. And Pazur is the man to watch. 2023 Rookie of the Year. winner of the first round of 2024. The man to beat, the man on form, and the man with the target on his back. And if you're any championship contender, you're hoping Paweł Korpelinski is going to take him out here in the top 32. But easier said than done with the form Pizor is on right now.
Yeah, but never count Korpelinski out of a fight. We've seen this guy silently move through the pit, silently move through the grid, and take people down left, right, centre. Look at him creeping through the gears, and he goes pace for pace, matches Pizor, looks for the back bumper. Nice initiation. Kevin Pizor looks like he's back on form, back flying, but he goes way wide. 2 wheels over the circuit, disposes of the back bumper now. His wheels off on outside zone 4, and that opens the door for Korpelinski as he goes for it. Almost makes contact with the bumper that's flying around. Pizor now angry, firing that car to the wall. Firing that car across the line.
Oh, that's a big move for the championship. The winner of round 1 on the ropes in the top 32 at round 2. Korpelinski did nothing wrong. He actually stood back and watched Pizor make the mistake. A big understeer here.
Yeah, big understeer. Look at this. You can see the front wheels. He turns all of the angle out, then dials it back on, and that is so wide. The front wheels go through that outside zone. Look at this. Oh, Dave, is he flirting with a 4 wheels off there?
Well, remember, at that part of the course, it's only the grass that matters, but he's flirting with 2 wheels in the grass for me here. So it's 2 wheels. I'm getting confirmation.
It's 2 wheels off.
It is an incomplete for Kevin Pizor on his lead run. So the winner of round 1 of Drift Masters is now on an incomplete in the top 32 of round 2. And my God, did you want to watch it this weekend? You're getting your drama's worth, because everything is upside down again.
Everything's upside down, and you know what, Kevin Pizor, everyone was saying he was on rails all weekend in practice, and he looked good in qualifying, but not good enough. And I wonder if that maybe shook his confidence a little bit. He went a little bit too hard here, but he knows Korpelinski's a steely
Well,
competitor.
to be fair, he got his bumper on the wall, though. So that's he did in an unorthodox way.
And, yeah, not in the right
Oh,
way.
Marston's out with the magic tape. Structural tape to try and put back Kevin Pizor's car. Again, remember, he can only, if you're wondering why Marston does this, and Marston is a legend of the game, he is only able to remove body panels or secure them. That's all he can do. He can't fix anything on the car. He just has to make sure the car isn't going to, disintegrate. Off start line. Now, if Korpelinski puts in a lead run here, the winner of round 1 is out of round 2. That's the reality here. But Korpelinski's got to keep it together now.
Yeah, he needs to keep it together. He needs to keep a cool head, but we know he's got a cool head on his shoulders. They come through the gears, and he waits for that initiation, and Kevin Pizor is going to go for it. Look at this! Kevin Pizor even squeezes up on the inside. He knows he needs to do some damage. If he's incomplete, he needs to push 110%, and Korpelinski's giving him the perfect lead line to chase as Kevin Pizor gives him the room to manoeuvre. Now, big dive on the inside. Kevin Pizor, we've been robbed of what we could have seen this weekend.
I'm not going to exaggerate here and think that might be one of the best chase runs I've ever witnessed in Mondello Park. That might be one of the best chase runs I've ever seen here. He has no right to get away with that.
Look at that.
I've never seen proximity like that at that point of the track, and he makes it. Look at this. That is unbelievable from Kevin Pizor. And you think, oh, he's going to mess the rest of it up. He doesn't. He's just as close everywhere else. But is it enough? Can it overturn it?
There's no way.
There's no way.
Watch
this transition. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, bumps into him.
Man.
It's phenomenal driving. Every year.
Then he even makes more of a dive.
We think we've seen it all, and then we just see more every year. I mean, if you look back at drifting in this track 10 years ago, this would, you'd have a heart attack seeing something like this. We're being spoiled by the level of driving we have right now at Drift Masters. But I don't think it's going to be enough for Kevin Pizor. I mean, if he's incomplete in the first run, this one could be fairly obvious, but we'll see what the judges say. We're only speculating. It's time to lock him in. Who's going to the top 16? Paweł Korpelinski gets the win. Korpelinski goes through, and the big shocker in the top 32 is the winner from round 1 is out at top 32 in round 2. Championship has just been blown wide open, and there's a big Cheshire Cat smile on the face of Laurie Heinen right now.
And look what that means to Korpelinski. You take down the man that was incredible at round 1, who just pushed you around the circuit, and you say, well, maybe today's the day.
Well, Laurie Heinen is going to be looking at this going, this is great, because the guy who was ahead of me at round 1 is now out in top 32.
Well, after qualifying, Laurie Heinen technically took a hold of the championship, and now with Pizor out, Laurie Heinen, every move, every step further in competition he goes, he strengthens that championship.
Exactly. So if you're want to be a contender this year, the man to watch is Laurie Heinen from here, because he's clawing a lot of points out of round 1 and 2.
And that'll be scaring That will be scaring the Shanahans because they know now the further he goes, the more he gets. We go back to the second running competition.
Rintanen, they're all going to be watching this, and as I go now, they watch the two youngsters back on the line. We got It Tasted That and Fionn Roche. Fionn Roche's car checked out, all good, ready to go.
Good, you know that?
I just assume because he's there. And It Tasted That with it incomplete on the first run. So all Fionn Roche has to do here is not mess it up and put in a good run. But
why did you say that?
I'm just saying that's all he has to do. I'm trying to inform people. I'm not trying to put a commentator's curse on anybody. I'm just saying, just keep it neat and tidy. That's all you got to do.
It's easier said than done, Dave, especially when you're going over that hill, 140 kilometres an hour. Well, car slam into gear. It Tasted That knows he needs to try and force an error, knows he needs to try and make Fionn Roche make a mistake. But Fionn Roche, will he be calculated? Will he have listened to the Shanahans? Will he have took that advice on board? And it looks like he's going to play it safe. Nice lead line so far from It Tasted That as he gets into outside zone 4. And look at Fionn Roche. He's there, but he's not there. He's in the fight, but he's not fighting too hard. They fire up into the wall. It Tasted That trying to do everything he can to try and overturn that incomplete, but it's not enough.
But you talk about a rookie season for Fionn Roche, and you know, sometimes these guys get a little bit, you know, the adrenaline gets too much, the occasion, all these people watching. That was a very pro move. Just stay back, let him do what he needs to do. Don't do anything that incompletes your run. And Fionn Roche would have got that advice from the Shanahans. And, you know, it's incredible. I was just thinking there of how almost everything that's happening at round 2 is the opposite of round 1, except for Laurie Hartman. So he's the only consistent right now. If you look at it, Więcek out top 32 at round 1, he's in top 16. You look at we're assuming all 3 Shanahan cars not making top 16 at round 1 now will make it at round 2. And you look at, say, Juha, Rintanen, you got all these guys that were kind of down the order, now back in business at round 2. Again. Kevin Pazor, the winner, out. So it's the opposite, you know, so it's just crazy. What's going to happen here for the rest of the day? Well, we're going to be here front and center, letting you guys know we got the last decision to make, though. It's going to be Fionn Roche or It Tasted That. I think this is going to be an obvious one. It's going to be Fionn Roche getting the win. Fionn Roche gets the win and goes through to the top 16. And as far as I can tell, that is a great start to the season for Fionn Roche, qualifying to both rounds. And he's looking stronger and improving every round.
Yeah, he certainly is, Dave. And, you know, look, he's going to lean on that advice. He's going to lean on that knowledge.
So we are going to go down to trackside with Becky. She is with the youngster Fionn Roche, and he's through to the top 16 main event and home soil, Becky.
He absolutely is, Dave. Fionn, I can tell you, absolutely elated with that one. It was kind of tricky in the first part of the battle there. We saw you take the car back to the pits. Was there much damage, or was it just simply a case of checking it over and getting yourself back out there?
No, thankfully there was no damage, but I didn't want to go out to a second run and find out we did have damage and lose the battle over that, so we just called the competition timeout, went back to the pits and gave the car a check over, but thankfully nothing was broken.
So let's talk about the crowd here. I mean, it's a home race. It must be wonderful to see so many faces up here, hyping you up. Brilliant to be into the top 16. It must be wonderful.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted. I'm just buzzing.
Buzzing. There you go, lads. A man of many words. Fionn, congratulations into the top 16. Well done.
Thanks.
So he's buzzing. We're all buzzing.
We're all
the whole
buzzing.
of Mondello's buzzing because we've had some insane stuff happen here in the top 32. And I'll tell you what, I'm ready for more.
There's more. There's more coming up. There's more coming up, Dave.
Two scoops of insane.
We've got a small one coming up. It's just a small battle.
Oh, I would love to see 2 of the wildest drivers on the whole grid go head-to-head in the top 32.
Good, because that's what we've got. It is Dwayne McKeever to take on Portugal's very own Diogo Correa. Now, Correa took a podium in Finland.
He did?
He's been working away. He's been chipping away at this championship. He's kind of improving himself. But now he goes up against a man who is renowned for being ultra fast on this track.
McKeever gives a signal to the camera and says, #1 on this track. So McKeever wants a bit of redemption. Not the perfect start to the season for him. Correa, not the perfect start to the season for him. And these two guys, well, I'm going to tell you now, you're not going to need us to give you any information here. You can let the visuals do the talking because these guys are going to go for it.
Yeah, they slot the car into gear. McKeever has been one of the fastest men on initiation. Can Correa hold on? Well, that's the question he needs to answer. As McKeever looks in the wing mirror and says, "Where are you?" He's nowhere. Look at the pace from McKeever, and it catches Correa out. Correa shortcutting the circuit, trying to find the side of that 180SX as McKeever squeezes the throttle and unleashes the power from the engine underneath the bonnet as he fires the car up onto the wall. Correa now back in the mix, disposes of the tail lights as McKeever is on rails.
Wow, that is some run from Dwayne McKeever. He tagged the wall, he took the bumper. The speed was, I think that's got to be the fastest initiation of the day so far from McKeever. He left Correa as if he had 200 horsepower there. McKeever, we know he's fast. but I didn't think he was going to be that fast. There would have been that gap. He almost went off the track himself. He was going so fast.
That was incredible. McKeever's car is so fast.
Let's say fast again. That's what it
Fast.
is. Yeah. So Correa's just playing catch up for the whole run, but even McKeever here, tags the wall, disposes of the bumper. It's clean, it's tidy, it's what the judges want. Correa did everything he could. Lovely dive here from Correa, by the way. This was a really nice last-ditch effort to get back into the battle. But McKeever leaving nothing to chance on the lead run. He said he was disappointed in Spain.
Yeah.
Correa said he was disappointed in Spain. But now McKeever, if he can get that proximity, and we know he can, he's got the pace, that's for sure. But Correa is tough to beat.
Now, how did Correa even see where he was going on outside zone 5? Because the track was just whited out completely there. And Correa was lost in the smoke.
So our head cable tie technician, Marcin, on the start line, is trying to put Dwayne McKeever's car back together. McKeever, he'll feel good with that one. He'll know that was a good first run. But this is the nervous part now of the chase. You can mess the chase up so easily. Go too aggressive, make contact, and you're back, losing the battle when you were so far ahead. And we've watched so many experienced drivers today make unforced errors. Zor, Więcek, Čirba, a lot of unforced errors.
A lot of unforced errors, yeah.
Even Kvia, a lot of unforced errors.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the strange thing for me was Kvia, the late initiation, not even initiating, knocking himself technically out of the battle. So as soon as we get McKeever's car zip-tied back together and ready for action, you can see Correa in that lead position. McKeever not too far back off the start line. He knows he's got the pace. He knows he's got the grip in that car to do the damage he needs to do. And after that lead line, I think he knows he's got this 80% in the bag. As a few more zip ties get thrown at the back of this 180SX, and our start line marshal Marcin says, I'll do everything I can, but I can't guarantee it's going to stay on there. Look at this from McKeever. Boom, takes the back bumper and the tail lights out of the car. And Correa's a passenger at this point, Dave.
McKeever's wall run is pretty special, I'll be honest with you. Like, that is chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Well, now he's in the chase position. He's lost the entire back end of the car off the wall, so Marcin has used the cable ties of justice to get back out there. And here we go. Off the start line to go. McKeever in the chase position. Correa is going to throw a big angle into this first corner. Can McKeever deal with it?
Yeah, look at this. He's matching the pace. He knows he can't let Correa get away. Correa going to try and do everything he can. It's a nice lead line so far from Correa, but that opens the door for McKeever. McKeever daps a foot brake to dip the front of that car down as he transitions into outside zone 4. Foot flat to the floor, and Correa just doesn't have the pace in that car. And look at McKeever through the smoke. Big angle transition from Diogo Correa onto the wall, but that's not going to scare or shift McKeever.
That transition from McKeever was insane on the wall. Like, that was... I saw the front bumper flex on his car. I wonder, was he that close?
I'm going to say he was that close. I'm going to say he made contact. That was incredible.
And it looks like he backed a little bit away at the first corner. Then he starts to, he knows he's got to get closer. This is really smooth driving. Like, great lead run from Diogo Correa, I've got to say. Portuguese driver doing exactly what he needed to do in the lead position here. But for me, it was coming to that first wall. McKeever just kind of, if we stay on this angle, it was one of those things where I went, he's going to make contact here. And oh, look how close this is. Oh, like depth-defying stuff.
It was do or die. It was either make contact or get the job done.
So as they finish up, it's another decision for a top 16 place. McKeever and Correa having a conversation. I can guarantee you there's not too many words spoken, as well, the English on Dwayne McKeever and Diogo Correa will be questionable.
Questionable.
So we're going to see who's going through to the top 16. Judges look like they're locking in a decision here. We have this battle, one more battle to go after this in the top 32. And who's going to get it? Having a look at the screen, and it is going to be Dwayne McKeever. Dwayne McKeever gets the win and goes through to the top 16. Smiles all around for Dwayne McKeever. Correa, valiant effort, it got to be said. No major errors or major problems, just couldn't catch the pace.
Yeah, he couldn't catch the pace, and you know what? He laid down a lead line that was, worthy of anyone out there, and it just that gave McKeever even more opportunity to do some more damage, and not damage to the car, but damage to Correa's championship hopes.
Next up, the last battle in our top 32 is going to see Germany go head-to-head with Sweden. Max Heidrich versus Joachim Andersen, two guys, very different styles. Andersen with that smooth, slick, consistent style. Heidrich, I'm not even sure I'd call it a style. It's just absolutely all-out, every-time entertainment. It can work. It can also go against them. We don't know what max we're going to get. Max angle, max speed, or max in the gravel. We never know. But I love watching this guy drive, and I'll tell you what, Joachim Andersen, new car this year, and he looks dialed in that as well. So Andersen looking at definitely more championship points here, had a good run in Spain. I think he's going to want to take it all the way here today. Let's see what happens as Joachim Andersen leads out Max Heidrich into that first corner.
Yeah, but don't forget, Max Heidrich took down Więcek at the last round. Can he take down the Swede driver? He's going to try it. Look at this, lovely stuff from Heidrich as he matches the angle and gets that proximity all the way into outside zone 3. Goes wide on, stalls the car up, contact from Joachim Andersen as he has to slow that car down to avoid dropping wheels off, and Heidrich stays in it, bumper down, dragging along the track, onto the wall goes Heidrich. Absolute dominance from the German.
Max Heidrich, what a chase run. That run through the first corner was, max attack.
Max attack, yeah.
He comes in here, I'm like, what are you doing? You're gonna crash, and he doesn't crash. Look at that. He's an inch.
Look at how close he is.
That is unbelievable. He's changing gears and handbraking while he's doing that. Look at this from Max Heidrich. And look, and this is the problem for Andersen. He goes off the track, two wheels over the white line, but he has to stall up the car to let it grip, which means Heidrich kind of has to accordion. He has to slow down and then go, Heidrich, my bumper's gone, I'm crashing into things, who cares? On the door. Look at this. We promised you action. We gave you action. Top 32.
That's an understatement.
Top 32 has been insane. From in Spain to insane. That's what we've had this year.
I like it.
Yep. Put that on a t-shirt.
Look at this. Look at the contact.
Heidrich just goes,
wheel to wheel.
Boop.
You see the way it braked Andersen's front wheel, and he's like,
They just
nothing I can do about that.
Keep going. Bumpers falling off, dragging along the ground. This is what we came here to see. That's not what they want to see, but what we want to see as fans. Yeah. Big fan of this.
Costs us no money to see that.
Yeah, it costs us nothing to see them smash their cars up. We enjoyed that every bit of it. Joachim Andersen in the lead position. Max Heidrich will be in the lead position. Now, this is where Max Heidrich has to go. I've dialed it up to 29.
Take it back 10%.
Take it back to, at least 11 and just do a nice lead run. Andersen's going to have to turn it up because he's going to have to, like that proximity from Heidrich is incredible. So this is really interesting. You got the more, I would say, cool, calm, and collected driver in Andersen.
Calculated, yeah.
Now having to turn it up to a kind of a wild level, and Heidrich needs to turn the wild all the way down. So,
no, that doesn't work. That's not going to work.
I don't think we can change the personalities of these drivers too easily here. So let's see what happens. Last run, potentially, of our top 32. Here we go. Green light means go. Heidrich in the lead, Andersen in the chase.
Yeah, through the gears, down they come, and Heidrich looking strong so far. This one's going to be his in the bag if he can put down a banger of a lead line, and he looks good so far. Front wheel lock. Look at the line through those first zones from Max Heidrich, and he puts it down and up and gone. Nothing from the Swedish driver of Joachim Andersen so far. Now starts to regain some ground after shortcut the circuit. Absolute flyer from Heidrich at the moment, and Andersen has no answer.
I'm telling you, put it out there now. Max Heidrich. Just put it out there. Max Heidrich, that's
this weekend.
This weekend, that is the best chase and need he's done on this circuit, and he looked comfortable at that level. Oh.
You think he could?
Hey, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened.
Already.
The lead line.
Already stranger things have happened. I think Andersen just doesn't, he transitions early and he has to put a lot of course to stay with Heidrich, and Heidrich's on a flyer.
Yeah, Heidrich is up and gone. There's no way that Andersen could have catched him.
Little shortcut from Heidrich there, a snappy transition, but the only downside I can see to that run on lead chase, and Joachim's trying so hard to get back in the fight. But is it too little, too late? We're having a good look at this one, the judges, and of course they see it in a different way than we do. We see it very layman's.
Entertainment.
Entertaining.
We're looking at the entertaining side of it.
Yeah, but they're looking at the technical side of it to try and decide what they said in the briefing, which is a very long, detailed briefing. Everything that can happen on the track has been explained to these drivers and what the result would be. So Heidrich and Andersen await the last decision of our top 32. And it's going to be Max Heidrich gets the win. Max Heidrich from Germany gets the win. Big smiles. Look at that. Sun's out, guns out in Mondello Park for Max Heidrich, and he's going through to the top 16. Big smiles, and it worked out. The wild style worked out. And Becky is with the man that has it always jacked up to 11. He's through to the top 16.
Yes, he absolutely is, Dave. Max Heidrich, congratulations. You're through to the top 16. I was just seeing you have a chat with Joachim there. You're holding your wrist. Was there a little bit of pain from that contact there?
Yeah, a little bit. I hit him in the outside zone 4, and I was grabbing my steering wheel so hard that I get a little bang on the wrist. But everything is fine. Keep on pushing for the 16.
You're looking very, very comfortable in that car out there. Dare I say it, this is the most comfortable you've ever been here at this track. Am I right or wrong?
Thank you very much. I think the off-season training pays off. Big thank you to my brother. His spotting is spot on this time. For my mentor, Olof Eriksson, he puts an amazing job behind at the scenes, and to my family, for support at home, to my little girl, and yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. We'll see you in the top 16, Max. Guys, what a top 32. Let's see what it looks like going into our top 16. So many massive battles, right?
Oh, that's for sure, Becky. This is stacked again. Top 32, probably the.
It can't be stacked.
No,
I can't handle it.
I think, yeah, we're gonna need a little rest here because there has been so much happening in the top 32. If you're a Drift Masters fan, this has been all over the place. And here are the results. It looks obvious, but it certainly wasn't obvious how it got there. Deane, Piskolty, Więcek, both Shanahans, Jakub, Król, Juha, Rintanen, Keski-Korpi, and that's all on the left-hand side of the bracket too, so they're all gonna have to meet before the final. You got Przygoński, Randalu, Nilsen, Roche, Hartman, Korpelinski, Mika, and Heidrich, all, I mean, bar maybe Shanahan and Heidrich, who had pretty good starts to the season, and Randalu, everything else is kind of mixed up from the first round, which is really interesting for the championship. And I'll tell you what, that top 16 is going to be very closely watched by every driver on the grid, because some drivers who had big points hauls at round 1 are now out at round 2, and big battles. Look at this, Deane, Więcek, Shanahan. Oh, I mean, this is massive. That top 16, every one of those battles, those 8 battles, is like a final. And we're going to see it here. We're on track with some entertainment at 2:30 local time. We're on Red Bull TV at 3:30 local time. And Becky, I'll tell you one thing. I could not pick this. If I had to put money on this, I'd just equally spread it across the whole roulette table because I have no idea what way this one's going to go.
Absolutely, Dave. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen next, and that is exactly what we love about Drift Masters. It's almost Drama Masters, as you were saying earlier. Well, make sure, guys, get yourself comfortable, get a cup of tea. It's a lovely Sunday afternoon. We're going to be back at 3:30, as Dave says, live on Red Bull TV. You don't want to miss this. We'll see you then.